Hello, listening people.
Hello.
You're listening to Spin Polish Presents Unappreciated Masterpieces. I'm Ryan Sliwinski.
And I'm Bartek.
Yes, that's right. And we are both spit and polish. It's not like that kind of thing where I'm spit and he's polish. No,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
both spit and polish, likingly, because we are always spitting, because saliva is how you talk, like when you do a audio recording based podcast, you make sure you smack those lips.
So
That's how you do it. That's the
there's
top.
a science behind saliva where it forms the words.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, if you have a dry mouth, can you speak properly? Exactly.
But
Yeah,
right,
like-
if I were to spit in my hand and put it up to the microphone, would it do the episode for me?
Well, you have to move your hand.
Oh,
And then
okay,
keep
yeah.
spitting into it to rehydrate your hand, you know what I mean? You can't just spit, and then just expect, 2.5 hours of, yeah, it's me, Bartek, out of your hand, and then, does your hand have a tongue? So you have to stick the thumb from your other hand through to act like this is the tongue,
Right.
Use logic, Bartek. Mm-hmm. And the logic of our show is that we are both always spitting, and yes, we are both Polish. Is that not
It's
correct?
very logical, yes.
It's a logical conclusion that we have arrived at.
Yes.
But we also host the show Unappreciated Masterpieces together.
Mm-hmm.
And on an Unappreciated Masterpieces, we talk about films. We do film commentaries. Commentaries for films that people don't acknowledge well enough. They're not films that are completely forgotten, but they're not ones that are completely remembered either. They're not on anyone's top 10 lists, it seems, which is unfortunate, because every single film is a form of art, and isn't art really worth being in your top 10 list, huh? That's just a statement of truth there.
But we don't do direct-to-DVD.
No. We do theatrical release. It feels like, because someone had a soul once, and that soul said to them in their dreams, I've got an idea for a movie. And that idea formed in their head, and they took that to their friend and executive at a studio, and that studio executive was like, whoa, mama, that's a great idea. I'm going to get the people onto this job, Let's make the chops and get this to happen. That's exactly how Hollywood works. I'm an expert. I'm an insider.
Sometimes they even throw in, how did you even think of this?
Or, oh boy. Just, oh boy.
Oh boy, oh jeez.
Like some movie, some genius came up to a studio executive and said, I have an idea for a movie. Hold on to your butts. It's called Big Fat Liar. And that studio executive was like, whoa boy, Paul Giamatti. Automatically off the bat. But we're not doing Big Fat Liar in this episode, are we, Bartek? We're doing an important movie.
Oh yes, we're not. We did
Big
that
Fat
already
Liar is a
once.
very important movie, but it's one that we've already covered on the show. If you want to check it out, check it out. We have so much movie
80-something
catalog.
episodes ago.
We're legends of the field of
First episode.
unappreciated masterpieces. So, Bartek, what is the epic film that we could be covering in this episode?
The audience is probably thinking oh, Foreshadowing is an epic movie. It's
No.
not an epic movie. No.
No.
It's not an epic movie.
If we had to do one of those movie ones, it would be Date Movie, because Sophie Monk's in it, and, she's great.
I liked Date Movie when I saw it.
Yeah, well, not enough
was a
people
long time
talk.
ago.
Not enough people talk about that movie. It's so good, but we're not doing Date Movie. We're doing what movie?
The word movie's not in the title, Ryan.
Well, fuck.
We're doing Drużyna.
Are you telling me we're not doing the Emoji Movie? God damn it! I thought we were getting hot off the presses.
We haven't yet
Done a movie that's in the cinemas.
No. Have we ever done a movie that has the word movie in the title?
I don't know. Maybe. I'm not an expert on spin polish. I just am a part of it.
Ah, okay.
So what's the Polish? Oh shit.
No, we're Polish.
We are Polish. How are you?
Dobrze.
Very well, thank you.
I said good, but okay. The movie that we are doing is Drużyna A.
Ah, of course. Look, this is embarrassing for everyone involved, especially Bartek. I don't speak Polish, which is, I imagine, what you're speaking. I mean,
That's why you randomly said good
I felt
thanks.
like good thanks. Yeah, I
just said that I was good.
actually said very well, but that's okay.
That's right, you did.
So that's a bit embarrassing.
I don't speak English, right?
Doing this podcast, I've really learned that I think that you're fluent 97% in English and 98% in Polish. So
I'm more fluent in English than Polish.
What? Far out. We'll have to find out in the rest of this episode, because what is it that you said? But in English, please.
I don't speak English, Ryan, so you...
Oh, that's embarrassing then.
Yeah, I know. We're doing Drużyna A, which is obviously the A team.
The R team?
The A team.
The R team?
The A team.
The A team.
The A team. That's the movie.
Fuck, what? The A team? Mm-hmm. The A team?
Yep.
The team with Mr. A in it?
A-Man, yeah.
Yeah, the
It's got A-Man and two others, and then another.
Oh my god, is this movie involving people with a face?
Yeah.
Possibly they're a man? Wait, are you telling me... Hold on. Are you telling me that in the glorious age of cinema we're in at the moment, and that this film was created in, that they have managed to surpass any form of misogyny by gathering together a whole bunch of men to represent a team without a woman involved in any fashion, and no one got upset about this?
Well, you can see Jessica Biel in the background.
She's not in the team. She's not in the A team.
That's why I said she's in the background.
So, wait, you're telling me that the A team managed to subvert social justice warriors' angst? Wow. We don't even need to cover this episode. Yeah. Wow, that's it. My headphones are down. I'm gone like that. Wow, we don't even need to do a commentary.
Person came up to a studio and they're like, the A-Team movie, and they're like, how did you come up with this idea?
Well, could I guess tell us how he came up with this idea? That's right, we have...
What?
We have Bradley Cooper on the show.
Bradley Cooper?
No.
No?
No, we have someone else. Someone that we have specifically on for dirt and sand related movies, apparently. And this movie has some sand in it and dirt.
And the long-time fans are like, well, of course we know who it is. But all the new people are like, they have a guy for dirt and sand movies?
Yeah, you know.
Who is it? I mean, why wasn't it on Gods of Egypt?
Yeah, it was really weird when we did Gods of Egypt and you, Bartek, are like, yeah, this is called like a sandal and sword movie. And I'm like thinking... Well, why don't we have a classic guest for sand and dirt as well? But we said to ourselves, no, we have to hold him back for a real good movie adaptation of a 1980s TV show. Who is that soul?
Ladies and gentlemen, making his third appearance on the show.
Three's a lucky number?
It might be. I mean, it's a magic number.
There you go. I love magic.
Third time's the charm, but he was charming in the first two, so what do we do?
I don't know. I guess he's got to be uncharming.
Or maybe extra charming.
Oh, yeah, extra charming. Can he be extra charming?
Ladies and gentlemen, his last name is Bradley, but his first name's Stefan. It's Stefan Bradley.
Well, open wide and say, the R team, gentlemen, because that's what we're covering. The R team.
No, it's the A team, Stefan.
He's saying say R.
Say R.
Ah.
You know, I
Can
think
you imagine
that classic say R gag.
Yeah.
This will go down in Spitballs history.
And the gags that they only used once. No, can you imagine the narrator of the A-Team, which they do use in this movie? Can you imagine it's like, they were soldiers of fortune. It's the team. like they edit like him saying team in there. Like it's not like the same breath. It was like It's like that 80s kind of echo sound effect that they use. Where it's like the team.
Or he could be like, it's the team.
Yeah, it's the A team. Yeah,
it's the team.
It's the ABBA team. No.
The team.
So guys,
it's the A minus team.
Stefan's been introduced. We've said who we were, and we've said what the movie's about. We've said what the goal of the show is. So that means the next logical step is that we just end the show. I mean, there's no need to go any further. I mean,
Spit and Polish won't be around next week.
Yeah, that's it. Like, we retire.
Yeah.
You know, we're soldiers of fortune, you know? Like, we're part of a rogues gallery of the world, you know? And that's a really tough job. We can't keep up podcasting while that's a part of our duties, you know? It's really hard. But, you know, for you Die-Hard fans out there, not fans of the movie Die-Hard, I'm talking about fans of the show who are really Die-Hard fans.
To be fair, also the Live Soft ones.
I love Live Soft. That's my favorite. Yes, they live. A good movie as well. But we're doing the A-Team. And what you're going to do, yes, we are going to cover the A-Team. I was joking before about retiring. We'll do that after the episode's finished. Yeah. You're going to get your copy of the A-Team ready. The classic quintessential A-Team with everyone's favorite homeboy, Liam Neeson.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's gangster.
And everyone's favorite bad guy, Patrick Wilson. You know, lovely. And everyone's favorite uncredited cameo role, John Hamm. You know, everyone's involved in this movie. I don't want to brag. Everyone's involved. I mean, you know,
even Adam Sandler.
Fuck, we'll have to see who plays Mr. T. So, Get your copy ready, because we're going to do the feature-length audio commentary with this. You're going to watch it along with us. I'm going to do a countdown of 3, 2, 1, play. When I say play, not pray. When I say pray, you pray to God
We
that
prayed
you press
last time
play.
Stefan was on.
So, we're not doing it this time. I only pray once a podcast. So, get your copy ready, because we're going to do this in 3, 2, 1, play.
Amen.
No.
Oh, you said play.
I said play.
I'm sorry.
I said pray to 20th Century Fox, a news corporation company. My favorite type of company and corporation, but not news.
When it said,
I'm more of a CNN man.
I looked at the word and news at the bottom and I read anus.
That's my
Anus.
favorite type of misspelling of news. Is anus. Oh,
Well,
look!
it's anus.
Stefan's already here. Here he is.
Yeah, I hadn't realized that there was a little bit of a theme emerging here with my appearances.
We told
Sad
you
and
on Wolf Creek 2 that this was your theme.
was it?
Yeah.
I noticed it.
He
Yeah.
stated we have him on for only sand-related movies.
Oh,
so there
okay.
you go.
Yeah, I was
I
This,
said-
and look, this is a
specifically-
dune entertainment.
Okay.
You can't have a dune without sand. A sand dune.
Well, you can have a
Do you-
snow dune.
They're not fucking called snow dudes. Don't lie to me. Also, there's a setup to a joke there somewhere in Mexico. I can't wait for the payoff. It's beautiful. So, Bartek, are they called snow dunes? You're lying.
Well, what do you call it if it's a dune made out of snow?
You just call it a hill.
I mean, why don't you call those sand ones hills then?
Because they're dunes.
But they're
Bartek,
but
we just...
But they're made from a
Dudes,
substance
man.
that's on the ground.
Everything's made from a substance that's on the ground.
Yeah, but it's like something you can pick up because it's not like just
You
solid
could-
ground. You can't pick up like concrete.
I
It's, like,
could
broken
if I
off.
broke it.
Yeah, but this is
With
like
your bare
something that you
hands.
don't have to break.
But snow can be pretty solid, Bartek.
I know it can, but that's called ice. If it's snow, you can still kind of break it down easy.
You can break ice. As Christopher Walken bravely once
Yeah, but-
said, the ice is gonna break.
But you say you can break ice, but it's more that you have to break ice if you want to pick it up.
Well, no, I could stick my fingers real hard in there and melt it with my body heat and then pull it
But
out.
then that's still, you're breaking it down in some fashion.
I'm breaking everything down. I'm breaking the A-Team down into philosophical musings, such as my favorite line just got spoken there. Bartek, you said to me before the show that you did get subtitles for your version.
Yes, I
He
was-
said the best line in the entire movie, which is, being a corrupt Mexican police officer, he says happily and bravely, "Oh, I'm such a bad Catholic," as he takes money. Brilliant line.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite lines in cinema. I want to know more about that cop. Like when he goes home, he takes off the policeman's outfit. He puts on like he puts on his hat.
Devout.
No, he puts on his hat and coat. He walks down to the shops and buys some food for his starving family, and he clicks his fingers and points and smiles to the guy behind the shop, to the shopkeep, and the shopkeep's like, "Yeah, there's a good Catholic man," and everyone like says, "Oh, there he is, the greatest Catholic in all of Mexico."
All hail the Catholic!
In Mexico, and then you see like the Pope's on his way to Mexico, and there's a movie about how this guy's actually going to make his way to see the Pope to see if he can get redemption for being a bad Catholic, and even the Pope says to him, "You don't need redemption, my son. You are the best Catholic of all of Mexico." And then the Pope actually gives him money.
Does a hat dance.
Somewhere else in Mexico, that's payoff.
You
That's
know
the
what?
payoff.
It's amazing to see Liam Neeson in a role that he doesn't usually play.
Which
an
is-
action star. Never seen him in an action star.
Well,
role
Schindler's
ever.
List, you should really rewatch
You should
it. It's
really-
a real
you
good
should really
action-packed
watch The
drama.
Phantom Menace,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
which is a desert-based movie.
I was talking about the Phantom Menace the other day for some reason. I was arguing about how I think Clone Wars is the suckiest of the prequel movies, and the other person looked at me and said,
Attack of the Clones?
Attack of the Clones, sorry.
Oh yeah.
They're all the fucking same.
Clone Wars is.
Attack of the Clones is the worst, and that someone looked
I
at me
agree.
dead in the eyes and said, "How dare you? Phantom Menace is the worst." And I said, "Hey, it's a film.
It's up
At
there.
least it's a film." And they're like, "Oh, let me guess. You're one of these guys who likes it because it's got a pod race and Darth Maul." And I'm
That's
like,
pretty cool.
"No, it's actually got a main character." And then they're like, "Oh, who's your main character? You're gonna say Anakin? That guy sucks in that movie." I'm like, and they're like, Or they were like, you're gonna say Obi-Wan Kenobi? He doesn't do shit all in that movie. I'm like, it's clearly Qui-Gon Jinn. He goes through it. I hate the movie still. I don't like it, but at least it's a movie? Attack of the Clones is not a movie. It's just a bunch of people talking and being upset about nothing.
For reference, I haven't played this game, but I've seen a Let's Play of it. The video game Lego Star Wars, which goes through like all the games. Yeah. Apparently the one for Attack of the Clones, it cuts through like, there's a level early in the film, and then it cuts straight to one late because there's so little going on.
What, you don't want a level in which you have to use the Force to lift up a CGI plum and feed it to Natalie Portman?
I did like the
I want that level.
I did like.
Where it's a quick time event.
I like the part in Attack of the Clones where, what was it? Obi-Wan enters a classroom that like Yoda's teaching, and he's like, "I can't find this planet," and then Yoda like calls him out in front of the kids, like, "It seems Obi-Wan has lost a planet," and they laugh at him.
The best part of any prequel movies is Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. And why are we talking about Star Wars so much? Well, it's because this film. Well, you know, I'm not saying that any of the actors could be in the next Star Wars movie. I'm not saying that I've seen The Last Jedi already, but, like, Bradley Cooper playing Mark Hamill, wow, brilliant. Could you see that?
He playing the actor Mark Hamill?
Yeah.
I mean, we hardly saw Mark Hamill at the end of the last movie. That probably wasn't even him.
No, it was actually Bradley Cooper in makeup.
Look,
exactly.
I just like the fact that apparently Mark Hamill is canon to Star Wars, not Luke Skywalker.
No. Mark Hamill is a separate character.
Yeah, that's
Luke
what I mean.
Skywalker. And when Luke Skywalker sees Mark Hamill,
he's the body double.
No, they both have this thing where they're like, what an attractive guy. And it's like, oh, thank you. Like,
that's the best trope in film.
And then Mark Hamill says to his friend Harrison Ford, yeah, that guy, that kid over there, what an amazing voice. He's got a great future.
There's a way Harrison Ford can have a big role. Play Harrison Ford.
I love Harrison Ford playing Harrison Ford, but Liam Neeson is the real star of the A-team. He's the leader. He's the brains. He's the A-man. He's A-man. And he's the soul of the movie. Liam Neeson, guys, you know, when he smiles, it's infectious, isn't it? Like, Liam Neeson's now known for being, like, Taken and Run All Night or whatever, like, action star, gruff, always angry. But when he plays, like, jovial, he really does, like, tug at you a little bit, because you're like, wow, Liam Neeson's serious. So when you see, like, it's like a serious guy like Liam Neeson or, you know, Randy Quaid have a smile on their face, you're like, oh, I'm smiling too. On the inside and the outside, depending if you can smile on the outside. Not everyone's a smiler, you know?
Schindler's List must have been a great film for smiling Liam Neeson.
It actually was, because when he's like, I freed all the Jews, he smiles. Like, that's the last lines of the movie.
Jews are free.
No. He says straight to camera.
Just explaining what happened. I freed the Jews, what can I say?
He says straight to camera in his real accent, I freed all the Jews. And then it fades to black and the font comes up that says, Schindler freed all the Jews.
And then at the end, yay!
And then it has pictures of all the Jews he freed, and it's all of them, and the movie then goes for 7 years.
Every single Jew.
But talking about no Jews in this movie, there are none apparently. I don't know. I haven't noted down the religious beliefs of every actor in the A-team, but I believe that young Mr. T here, Quinton Rampage is his name.
Quinton Rampage Jackson.
Which is great, because when I was looking up the movie, a lot of people said Sam Jackson was in this movie. And I'm like, I can't wait to see Sam Jackson as B.A. Baracus. And then this guy turned up. Like, who's this? I want my Jackson of the Sam variety. Hey, look, there's a good Catholic.
We fed him to the dogs.
Like a good Catholic.
Dog is spelt
D-O-G.
It's Skod.
Oh, it's God's.
Skod.
So, Bartek, I'm going to ask you a very pertinent question now.
A person question?
A pertinent question.
Pertinent question.
I'm going to ask you a person's question.
Okay.
We have here from a person, I don't want to name names, Schindler.
How are you?
They asked, did I free all the Jews? And your answer is?
I think my mum said yeah, so yeah.
Is your mum Jewish?
No.
Oh, but she's an expert.
Well, she knows about Jews.
There you go. Fucking nailed it.
There you go.
Stefan.
Yes.
Your history with this movie, what is it? Did you get a chance to see this in the cinema? Were you born on this movie? Did you have seen this before? Is this your favorite movie?
I watched it yesterday, and of course, it's in my top 3.
Not top 1?
No, it's in my top 3. It's Wolf Creek. It's probably Wolf Creek number 2.
Wolf Creek 2 is number 1. And then Prince of Persia, number 2.
Absolutely.
And then this.
Yeah, and I'm not talking sad movies. I'm talking about movies of all time, obviously.
Oh, yeah,
so
of course.
The A-Team is up there. Number 3.
Number 3 in his list of hottest 100s of sand.
Time makes things better. So, maybe next time I come on, A-Team will be A+ number 1.
This film could have used a few ostriches, I think. But
it could have used a few Alfred Molina dressed as a woman. It could have used a few of those, like Prince of Persia.
Could have used a few more A-Team punches.
It could have used a few more racially miscast people, like Jake Gyllenhaal as a Persian, yeah. So you hadn't seen this movie beforehand.
No.
Why did you miss out on the A-Team hype? I mean, this movie, when it came out, all the actors involved, for the most part, Liam Neeson, Bradley Cooper, Sharlto. I had this right before. Sharlto. No, it's not Sharlto. It's Sharlto Copley. All of these were hot pieces of tasty when the movie came out, yet you didn't see it. Why is that, Stefan?
Well, I guess I regret not seeing these hot pieces of asses that you can
I
see
said
on
tasty.
screen. Right. Yeah, tasty. Tasty.
We don't say asses. We're not American. We're Polish. We say what's Polish for ass?
It doesn't really... I mean, dupa, but...
Dupa. We are a hot piece of
Tasty.
dupa.
But it's an insult in Polish. So.
It's okay. But we use the word hot,
I
so
use it
it's
ironically.
different.
I could speak Polish.
They're literally hot pieces of dupa.
Yeah. Dupa to my Polish fans around the world.
Is it really confusing for Polish people when they hear shows?
Because this slang does not translate to Polish if you translate it literally.
If a Polish person is not paying attention to an English person, an Australian person, and they want like a frozen treat, and they're like, pass me the super duper, they're like, fuck me, they're saying a slang word in Polish, and then they lose their shit, and they're like, how dare you call me that?
I also kind of think that with in the Super Mario Brothers series, one of the most common enemy types is the Koopa.
Yeah.
Koopa is Polish for poo.
Oh yeah, you told me that before.
Yeah.
Bradley Cooper's in this.
That's why Mario crushes him with these bloody bare hands and he stomps on
He has
them.
bare hands?
Yeah. Oh, actually.
He has the hands of a bear? I didn't know that Mario had those.
He actually doesn't have bare hands because he wears gloves all the time. Yeah.
Did you know that underneath Mario's hat, he has a bear head? Just a full head of bear.
I mean, there are
Not a
games where he
single
takes
bit
it
of
off,
soul.
so...
Yeah.
I'm not a part of those games, Bartek. I don't subscribe to their mentalities.
They're not canon.
Stupid Mario 64.
Hey, look,
They're
this
not
guy.
Ryan's
You think
canon.
this guy's going to really play a part in the movie, then we never see him again. See you later, hatchet.
That's an axe.
No, it's a hatchet.
By the way,
Bartek
audience
doesn't know.
who are paying attention to the film, we have not yet left the prologue opening credit sequence.
That was my only note for this entire 20 minutes. The credits kept going, and I just wrote,
Yeah.
the credits are still going, and it's amazing. Like, there comes a point at which the credits, I clocked it, do not happen for 2 whole minutes. And I'm like, that's a lot of minutes. Like, that's a lot of time for you to see director of photography, then flash to the next guy.
Imagine if you're like, waiting for a friend to arrive. He's like, am I late? Like, the opening credits are still going.
There you go.
Man, I don't know about you guys. I don't care how tough you are, but if I got shot in the arm, I don't think I'd join this guy's team.
What do you mean? It's Liam Neeson. If Liam Neeson looked you in the eyes and shot you in the arm and then said, I freed all the Jews, you'd definitely join him.
Well, if it's Liam Neeson.
Oh, if it's Liam old Neeson, then
Yeah.
yeah, of course. And if old District 9 guy's involved, then deaths. He put a lightning bolt in my arm. That's pretty neat.
Absolutely. Oh man, this guy's crazy. He looks like Michael Bay.
He is not.
Well, he probably sounds like Michael
Sharlto
Bay.
Copley. I nailed that one.
I haven't heard Michael Bay talk, I don't think, but he looks
Michael
like
Bay talks really annoyingly. Like, you know how Michael Bay seems like he's annoying? Michael Bay talks annoyingly. Like, he's the kind of guy... Have you never seen his commentary for Armageddon?
No.
Oh my god. It's the best fucking director commentary ever. It's just him talking about what a douche he is. Like he has no irony about it. Like, he's talking about, like, these space gloves, like, for a sequence, and he was talking about, like, the fashion designer chick who did them was French, and she didn't understand what he wanted. He was like, I wanted, like, silver gloves, and she gave me, like, dark gray. Stupid French lady. Like, that's so, and he goes on for, like, 10 minutes about this stupid woman, and then you really realize throughout his commentary of this story that he's the asshole, and this person just did their job, and he just refused to be polite. It's great. I recommend.
You know, he looks also a little bit like Luke Wilson, legendary actor who we bring up a lot. But
You mean Owen Wilson's older brother, one take Luke Wilson?
Yeah, we bring him up a lot, but we haven't had him in a movie yet.
Haven't we?
No.
Haven't we all been in a Luke Wilson movie?
Not on this show.
We live in idiocracy right now, so that's fine.
Yeah, true,
Bartek, just like the opening credits of this movie, it's taken a long time for me to ask you your history with this movie. What is it?
I remember when I was a wee lad of maybe 16 because... Well, maybe 17 actually, because it was 2010.
Yeah, that's right,
I remember fondly standing at Federation Square in the Melbourne Central Business District. And
you saw Sharlto Copley there spinning on a plane.
When you look across from Flinders Street Federation Square, you know, to your left you have Flinders Street Station, to the right you have the church, but in the middle, across the corner, you have that building, and at the top it has a big billboard, and anything could be on there at any one time. I remember then the A-Team poster was up there.
I had the same experience with Black Annie.
But wasn't yours like cardboard cutouts?
No.
That was a different
Mine was
film.
that was a different film.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, I just remember seeing the poster there, a really big billboard in the Melbourne CBD in the south middle part. But I never actually saw the film. In fact, for a long time, I wasn't exactly sure what the A-Team was.
It's Alpha Team.
Mainly because of this idea of Mr. T. Like, I didn't understand...
The idea of Mr. T really confused my knowledge of the A-Team.
He's a mystical figure, like
Mr. T
like
often,
Moses or something. He's like
Mr.
Moses.
T often confuses me about my perceptions of things.
No, but the reason being is because the A-Team's probably what he's most famous for, right?
Yeah.
He's...
Yeah, I guess
No,
that...
Snickers ads, right?
That and
these
obviously
days, yeah.
Rocky 3.
Yeah, and I didn't really have this idea of, like, so is Mr. T a character he played in this show and then he, like, kept being him? Or, like,
No.
what's going on? And then I watched the film, like, oh, it's B.A. Baracus, and then, of course, I learned his fantastic story of why he's called Mr. T. So I always imagined, like, someone...
It was a tragic story about a man who got bitten by a radioactive tea and he became Mr. T. And now he fights crime.
Well, was it herbal tea?
It was.
Okay, that makes sense.
Let's make a 2-hour-long podcast about tea.
Yeah, so basically, to summarize, I thought that him being called Mr. T had some origin here in the A-Team, but I was completely wrong. I found out then that the A-Team it was a TV show about, I guess
Renegades.
the Renegades, yeah. And I didn't...
Soldiers of Fortune.
Yeah, and I didn't really know that was the premise of the show until the very end, where they mentioned they're still on the run.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, I thought that was just a plot for the film.
No, that's the actual plot of the movie.
The show.
And the show, yeah, that's the main plot of the show. They're trying to prove their innocence and all that kind of stuff. Now, the thing that you brought up that really fascinates me is you saw the poster. You didn't really
Big billboard.
The big billboard. But did you see it?
I said I didn't.
Why didn't you see it? Weren't you fascinated? You were fascinated. Why didn't you go?
Yeah, man. Why not?
You've seen G-Force, and you've seen Big Fat Liar. You've seen 82
I didn't see Big Fat Liar.
We've all seen Big Fat Liar in our
I
hearts.
saw it for the show.
Yeah, and that was a shame then. You should have learnt your
Then
lesson.
why did you say that I saw Big Fat Liar, Ryan? You're
Because
making a
you
point.
saw it on the
you have
show.
to make a point.
Then let me make it. Let me make it. You saw Big Fat Liar on the show, and
Saw 18
that's
for
when
the
you
show.
realised, listen, when we first started the show, Big Fat Liar was the first movie. It was one that you hadn't seen before doing the podcast. You should have known back then in 2010, before we even met, that you should have watched this in preparation for a podcast that would happen several years later.
After I'd already been on a different podcast.
Yes. in which you also talked about films. So
Films that I randomly saw, yeah.
like the A-Team. See, I've nailed this. Oh, look, we're 20 minutes in, and now the credits are finally finished. My favorite part of this whole entire sequence was I was watching this with my girlfriend, and she leaned over and said, "So, is this like a origin story of the A-Team?" And I said, "I don't know. It seems like Liam Neeson already knows Bradley Cooper, and I guess like he doesn't know, BA, or he doesn't know Murdoch." And then I was like, I don't think it really is. The A-Team's about this, but maybe it is an origin story. And then it kind of felt like, oh, it's going to be an origin of this, and then 82 missions later, and it's been like
80 successful missions.
And then it's been like years have passed, and now they're like a solid year. Like a solid few years have passed, and now they're like the strongest
8 years.
unit.
That's more than a few.
That's several.
They certainly have aged gracefully, these guys.
It's a big handful.
Well, haven't we aged gracefully in 8 years? Look at Bradley Cooper. He's tan.
He is tan.
It's been almost 8 years. It's been 7 years since I saw that
billboard.
You know the best part about this? It's been 8 years since the events of the first incident in this movie happened, and BA is still not over the van and being chucked out of a helicopter. Wouldn't it be great if the 80 missions actually all took place in minutes?
So like there was like 7.5 years of like peace.
Yeah. No. Look, this is just 80 minutes after what we just saw. They've done like a minute-long missions that have been successful, such as go over there. You did it. Here's a star.
So more than 7.5.
Yeah.
And like every single instruction they're given counts as a mission.
Yeah, pretty much.
Open the door. Success.
Yeah, they get an achievement unlocked on the bottom of the screen. Yes. It's like, hey, BA, fix your bike. Bike fixed. Hey, Murdoch.
There's a lot of steps.
Talk with a pig. Pig used. Ching.
It's like this is now, so they'll have to show another logo like 81 missions successful.
Yeah. No. Like he used a pig, and it's like achievement for like 10th time using pig. Like that kind of thing.
He's experienced in using the pig.
Yeah. He's an experienced pig user. Mm-hmm. So here's Jessica Biel.
Welcome back.
We've had her on the show before. Mm-hmm. Would you like to remind us all what she was on for?
I'd like to, Ryan, but I need to be home for Christmas.
Oh, one of her first films, I do believe. One of her first big ones. So. She did Seventh Heaven, wasn't it? And then, or Touched by an Angel. No, Seventh Heaven. And then she was in I'll Be Home for Christmas, and now she's in this. And now she's in this. Her career really skyrocketed.
She's pretty, but not as pretty as Brad Cooper.
No one's as pretty as Brad Cooper. Not even Brad Cooper now. Like Brad Cooper looks at himself in the mirror and is like, damn, I'm sexy. But then like he looks at his hands and he's like, God, not as sexy as me though. My history of this movie, I know it's been like 40 minutes of waiting. I hadn't seen this movie before. I saw all the ads. The ads were basically, hey, they're falling in air on a tank. How cool is that? And I was like a pretentious high schooler who's like, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that shit. I got Big Fat Liar on the rewatch.
And you never saw the beginning?
I never saw the beginning, no, of Big Fat Liar. But I saw the beginning, middle, and end of this just last night before having to do it for this episode of the show. And boy, oh boy, I liked it. I'm not an expert on the A-Team show. I haven't really ever really watched an episode, but I just have a knowledge of what the general gist of the show was. Like, they're trying to clear their names. The van.
Is
Mr. T, like...
Is Lynch a big part of, like, this idea
I don't know.
of a bunch of people being named Lynch?
I don't think so. I don't know. Not that I'm aware of.
I don't know who the other characters
I am surprised by some information that I didn't know about the show. Like, certain actors of the original show are actors that I really do like and didn't know it was an iconic role for them. Other than obviously Mr. T, but there's certain other actors in there, specifically one, the original actor of Murdoch.
Dwight Schultz,
who does get a cameo at the end of this movie. At the very end credits. It's very nice.
Oh, was he his name?
What?
In the credits?
No. He was German Doctor Number 1.
Right. Oh, wait, was there a post-credit scene?
Yes, there was. There was two.
Oh, really? I didn't see it.
They went back to back. Oh, you're gonna see two or three nice cameos.
Oh my god, I'm gonna go into these.
Dwight Schultz, being a Star Trek fan, I love Dwight Schultz. He appears as one of the best secondary characters, minor characters of Star Trek The Next Generation, which is the character of Reginald Barclay, who that name plays a big important role in this film, and we'll get to the scene later on where Reginald Barclay's name appears in the movie itself. It's pretty decent, but yeah, love him as an actor. I didn't realize that one of his most iconic role was really the original Murdoch in A-Team. I feel like such a silly goose. So I was like, I know him as Reg Barclay. That's what everybody knows him as. It's Reg Barclay.
If you're such a silly goose, why aren't you making goose noises?
Honk!
I thought you're meant to be better than that, Ryan. Why are you still making goose noises?
What do you think a goose sounds like?
I'm not saying you did it wrong. I'm saying that you're not a silly goose anymore, so why are you doing the noise?
I don't know.
I guess we're all silly geese.
Look, here's the real hero of the movie, America.
America's the hero of every single Hollywood.
So I said it wrong, Stefan. Here's the real hero of the movie, America.
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 Hey, can you guys answer this question?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely. What do you think? We're not dumb.
Why is it that when soldiers wear the American flag patch on their uniforms, it's backwards?
There is actually a reason for that, which I do not know. But there is a very good reason. If only I knew it, I would tell you.
Bartek?
But it's a very American.
Is it like if you're driving in a car and look in your rear vision mirror, it's so that you can see it's the American flag? Like how you can see it's an ambulance behind you?
Ryan,
that's...
I can't believe you guys don't know this.
It's because America's backwards. Nailed it. Yeah?
Bartek knows?
When you're fucking brushing your teeth, you need to know what country you're from, alright? You need to look in the mirror, you need to see the American flag, alright? It's that simple. You brush your teeth. Clean your teeth, everyone.
Yeah, the army is really about dental hygiene. Hey, did anyone else notice in this movie everyone's got really blue eyes?
Jesus. Didn't even realize.
Look how blue his eyes are. Look how blue his eyes are. And it just like everyone's eyes except for BA's are blue.
Deep blue.
A deep, rich blue. It's amazing how blue everyone's eyes are in this movie. And it made me go, are they wearing contacts, some of them? Or did the director say, hey, it's the A-Team. We need blue-eyed men and women in this movie, and we need one brown-eyed guy because he's black.
Even the smoke from his cigar is a bit blue. It's got a blue hue. This whole movie has a bit of a blue hue.
He's a blue Huey.
Yeah.
Blue Huey Lewis.
Yeah.
Morrison's eye didn't look blue in that last shot.
And I know. I noticed that. Yeah. And I guess what? If you look in the goofs, you're gonna see.
Are you serious?
You're gonna see. In this shot, his eyes are green. And it's just like, why is this? Because the actor probably has hazel eyes. And hazel always like kind of shifts in colour.
Okay.
So that's probably it, you know. He is a bad guy in the movie, and I liked this guy too.
Bad.
I liked how, if you note in the movie, you know how time is really aged? Like, 6 months passes in this movie. Look how much hair this guy has. Not much, but when you see him at the end of the movie,
I noticed.
he has significantly less hair. Those 6 months
there's
were
like
pretty...
a bird's eye view of him, and I'm like, ooh, this guy's got a bald spot.
This guy's a bald spot here, but it's like 6 months were pretty brutal to him.
Yeah.
Like,
all that evil.
You know Seinfeld, the TV show?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
You know Jason Alexander, who plays George Costanza?
I've heard of him.
Did you know do you know the story of when he discovered he was balding?
No.
I've seen every episode, but
I mean like of the actor.
No.
Oh, Jason, no, I don't.
Because he's always been bald. It's the
Yeah.
saddest thing. He had these really bad braces during all of high school. Mm-hmm. And then it was the last year of high school. He got his braces off. The day he got his braces off and went home to look at his teeth in the mirror, he also noticed somehow on the back of his head he had a coin-shaped bald spot. And he was like, the day he got his braces off was the day he found out he was going bald.
Okay.
How tragic. He should have just shaved it to make a mohawk.
But then,
That would've been the smart thing.
Seinfeld came along and said, "We're gonna make a joke out of it."
We're gonna make a joke
Just
out
one,
of
just
it,
one
George.
joke, just one joke out of it.
Just a singular joke. It's when you get hair. Whoa. Don't know why.
Liam Neeson smiled, guys, so we smiled.
I'm smiling all the time because he's smiling all the time in this entire movie. Hannibal. What a great name for a human to have.
Ryan's a cannibal.
It rhymes with manimal.
Manimal.
caramel.
Oh my god, guys. Sharlto Copley is about to be South African, which is a real surprise because he's Texan. He's Texan in this movie. There was many times in which I was like, wait, is he Texan? Or Southern, or is he actually South African? Because there are some times when he actually is doing South African or speaks, like, Swahili at one point, and I'm like, who is this guy? Murdoch.
Well, that's a big mystery, and it seems like that's a mystery of the show as well. It's like, is he crazy? Is he not crazy?
Well, he gets shot in the head later and becomes sane. He's kind of like the Joker, you know? Like, there's a storyline in one of the comics where the Joker goes into, like, the League of Shadows or whatever, fucking Ra's al Ghul, like, the pit. He goes into the pit in which people become, like, immortal
like
or whatever.
Lazarus pit?
Yeah, or whatever. He goes in there and he just comes out sane. And then he gets like a desk job, and there's like he doesn't know how to function, but he's not really bothered by it. And Batman just keeps monitoring him for a long time, thinking like this is the biggest joke he's played yet. Like thinking like he's gonna do something big, but then he just doesn't. And eventually he goes crazy again because you know it's the Joker. Can you imagine Liam Neeson as the Joker instead of Ra's al Ghul?
I haven't seen Batman Begins.
And Heath Ledger as Ra's al Ghul. Swap them. Can you imagine Liam Neeson being
is it pronounced Raz or Raish?
Isn't it Ra's al Ghul?
I've played in the Arkham games. They call him Raish.
In the movie, they just go Ra's al Ghul.
Okay.
Look, now he's blue again.
Blue again.
He's Scottish now.
Hey Ryan, wasn't someone considered for one of these roles?
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito. You know, the trivia had a lot of people that were considered for these roles.
And the one that I picked was very low down in the trivia.
Yeah, it was.
Danny DeVito was considered for Hannibal, wasn't he?
I think so, yeah.
No, Face. Can you imagine that scene where Bradley Cooper gets the foreign press secretary's pass, or like the foreign press person's pass by hitting on it and speaking French? Can you imagine Danny DeVito? They have him standing on milk crates. He's like, and he's smoking a cigar anyway because he's Danny DeVito, and he just goes, "It's me, baby," and she's like, "Fuck, I want to kiss him."
Do you like what you see? He says.
Do you like what you see? That's my Danny DeVito impersonation. Danny DeVito's a very interesting actor, but too bad he didn't get the role because he would have been amazing in this movie as BA.
He was in Deck the Halls.
Can you imagine Danny DeVito's BA with Pity Fool tattooed on him, and he's like,
"You know what,
I'm
Ryan?
a fool who doesn't act against Schwarzenegger."
You know what, Ryan? I think that he would have been good for any of these roles, so maybe they should have had him for all of these roles.
You know what they should have done? They should have had Danny DeVito and Schwarzenegger in this movie teamed up together as Hannibal and Face. You could interchange either one. I think Hannibal for Danny DeVito and Face for Schwarzenegger. And Lynch is played by Jean-Claude Van Damme. And then at the end, when this movie has revealed there's another Lynch, it's replaced by Sylvester Stallone. And then that would be the running thing. Like all of these evil Lynches are all the other reject or like the competitor.
All the other Expendables.
Yeah, all the other Expendables. Like you have, you have that, or you have Chuck Norris as one of them. Like all the other competitor for action stars of the 80s and 90s.
It's kind of like a bit of a number 2 from The Prisoner.
Yeah. And then out of nowhere, you see Steven Seagal pops up, and then that's when they all just go, okay, that's the end of this franchise. With his hair, with his sprayed on hair. So this is an amazing action sequence here of a heist-like situation. Have we ever heisted anything? Stolen anything, guys? Have you ever theft before?
Just a bank.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How's that?
It took me, I feel like it was a heist to come in here because I forgot where your house was.
And
then I found it. And then I got in.
I stole $2.
You stole $2, mate. You're going to
From
prison.
who?
From the bank.
What bank?
In my heist.
What bank?
The Commonwealth Bank.
Where?
The one in Mentone, across from the station.
In Mentone?
Yeah.
Well, hear that, police? Bartek admitted to the crime.
You can't
This is admissible in court.
You can't catch me, though.
If you can.
Unless you time travel to this room where I am right now, because this is evidence of where I am. Except that you don't know what room this is.
But now they know whereabouts you live because you mentioned Mentone.
Yeah, on Tuesday night,
Oh,
man.
yes, I live in Mentone.
And now they're gonna search all over that place. You're like, haha, motherfuckers, I live in Oakley. And then they're like, haha, he lives in Oakley. It's like, haha, motherfuckers, I live in Monash. And like, just keep going throughout all the places. And do you eventually lead them all the way back to Mentone? You go through all the suburbs of Melbourne, just going east to west, west to south, south to north,
Werribee,
back,
and
in one of those suburbs,
Geelong, motherfucker.
we reckon there's Polish guys.
And you have like,
and
like you have like that one detective who's just like, it's like a cat and mouse game, and he's like, I'm all about justice, and I'm gonna catch this guy no matter what. You know, it's basically like he's your equivalent of L from Death Note, yeah.
Yes, or the Catch Me If You Can Tom Hanks character.
Oh, yeah, I guess. He seemed like a nice guy.
I like this joke. I'll be in one of those suburbs randomly with like a fake moustache over my real moustache. I'll be like, he went that way.
And then you actually get caught out in the end because you actually kind of forgot which suburb you had led them to. And then you were catching the train. They're like, there he is! And he's like, no, I'm an idiot! And then you get on the train. And the train conductor's like, toot toot, we're going to Mentone, and then the police like, they're going to Mentone, and then you pull off the face of the train conductor, and you're like, motherfuckers, I'm going to Glen Waverley.
One of the people that I went to high school with is a train conductor now.
Really?
Fuck, you have got an inside connection.
Yeah.
A rainbow connection. Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, well, he's Indian, so it was a different colour from me, so it's part of like a rainbow thing going
There
on.
you go.
So just how close to this suspension of disbelief, you know, some of the entire movie. Which it's still
This is real.
It's still a perfect movie, but like...
No, this is real. This actually happened.
Really? Well,
Yeah,
it's pretty crazy.
Didn't you see the documentary?
The doco.
Behind the A-Team?
Behind the A-Team, no.
Oh, you mean that fifth character that was along with them for all their missions? Like,
D-
what
D-
Oh, you mean
now?
Hatchet?
The documentary.
You mean Hatchet?
Oh, that's why we don't see him.
Because a lot of crazy shit happens. Like, I didn't know Bradley Cooper could speak French, and he can also...
He actually can speak French.
Oh, well, that makes sense. And Murdoch can
evidence.
speak Swahili.
He actually can.
Well, there's video evidence.
Sharlto Copley he can, yeah. He speaks like 6 languages.
Really?
He's from South Africa.
Oh.
He speaks
Have
Have you seen District 9?
Oh, he's the
main guy from District 9.
Yeah.
Murdoch's the main guy from your Michael Bay lookalikes the main guy from District 9.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's one bad with actors' names, but you know, I didn't know they spoke Swahili in South Africa, but there you go.
He does there, apparently. Fun fact, I did not get to know what they said in Swahili to each other. I looked it up and I couldn't find anything.
I heard one of them mention the word Zanzibar, which is a place.
I know that.
Tanzania.
So they're probably mentioning...
So they're mentioning the classic
I'm from-
Road to Zanzibar movie with Bob Hope and Bing Crosby.
No, they
What
were
a classic.
They were mentioning Metal Gear 2, which is set in
Oh,
Zanzibar.
fuck.
No, not Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear 2, Ryan, which is set in Zanzibar.
Okay, Metal Gear Solid 2 brings back some traumatic memories of a
I'm not
terrible
talking
game.
about Metal Gear Solid 2.
Of a terrible game.
That's why I specifically said
Of a
Metal Gear 2.
disappointing, misleading game.
Do you agree, Bartek? Metal Gear Solid 2? Disappointing?
Ryan's silly.
It is. Oh, come on. It's misleading, at least.
Oh, there's a villain. You get to the villain. It was the villain.
No, I mean, you know what I mean.
The ice cubes, they melt.
Yeah, well, when what's his name? Who made what's the guy who directed Kong Skull Island? The
Excuse
director.
me?
The director of Kong Skull Island, the guy who did some movie, yeah.
Yeah, well, he's making the Metal Gear Solid movie, so
Great.
he
Is he
is.
gonna have Samuel Jackson as Snake Plissken?
I hope so.
And he's like, "It's me, motherfucker." And then you're like, classic Snake Plissken dialogue. I can't wait for this.
Why can't we talk about Snake Plissken? He said Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, I thought he just meant 2. Who cares?
What are you on about, Ryan?
Isn't he in all of them?
What? Who are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Snake.
Yeah,
Solid Snake.
he's not in all of them, but that's not what we're talking about.
What are we talking about?
He said that someone's making a Metal Gear Solid movie.
Yeah.
And I'm saying they're going to
And you were
cast
talking
Samuel
about-
L. Jackson as Snake Plissken.
Why are you saying Snake Plissken?
Isn't his name Snake Plissken?
No, his name is Solid Snake. His real name's Dave.
Yeah, but doesn't he use the name Plissken?
As a pseudonym in Metal Gear Solid 2, the one you hate, and only that one.
Yeah, because it's a reference to Snake Plissken from Escape from New York.
Yeah,
the
but he's not
character
gonna
is
play
clearly
Snake-
based on.
But he's not going to play Snake Plissken if it's a Metal Gear Solid movie.
How do you know that? It's by the guy who did fucking Kong Skull Island.
Exactly.
He didn't do realism for Kong Skull Island. I mean, fuck. You know,
But
Kong
that's-
Skull Island's so good when John C. Reilly turns up as the best part of the movie, and it's set in Vietnam. You know, Kong King Kong, we always think of it as that Vietnam classic film. You know, when I think Kong, I think Vietnam. You know, Vietnam, you know what Apocalypse Now could have used? Some more King Kong.
The classic Ryan changing the topic.
You know I'm right.
No, you're not right. Snake Plissken is not a character from Metal Gear Solid. He's from the Escape films.
Yeah, but you're getting caught up on the idea that Hollywood making an adaptation of anything Japanese will get accuracy right.
Hold on what? I'm caught up by the fact that you're saying that it's Snake Plissken.
Yeah, listen.
He's not,
son, listen, son.
He's not going to take a character from another franchise and say that that's the character in this franchise.
No, he's not going to get Escape from New York Snake Plissken. He's going to use the name Plissken as Snake's name in that movie because movies nowadays are all about referencing other movies. Right?
So his real name's just going to be like Plissken.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're going to call him Snake throughout the movie. Like, that's what they're going to do.
Okay.
It was a long road. It was a long road, but we got there. Meanwhile, the A-Team are being formed into what we know them to be, framed.
Forget all that money. This film.
That's Liam Neeson's paycheck right there. He was like, I freed all the Jews. I want to be paid with cash. Hard, cold cash. Raining down on me.
Yeah, that's where the film's budget gone.
We were really all disappointed that our favorite character, the General, died. It was
Captain
really
Blue
sad.
Eyes.
It was oh look, other blue-eyed General. You know, like Captain Blue Eyes. It was really upsetting that Captain Blue Eyes, General Blue Eyes, died.
Yeah, Captain Blue Eyes is irreplaceable except for everyone else who has blue eyes.
He's a general.
Yeah.
By the way, everyone, the captain guy didn't die.
General didn't die. The captain died.
He called someone General in one scene. Do generals just call each other General?
Yes.
They don't say, hey, you.
No, they say, hey, General.
They say, hey, you, fuck
It's still a system of command.
Well, if they're equal, then is this really a system going on? It's just like, hey,
yes.
you.
Yes, even if they're superior, they still have to call them lieutenant.
Well, if they're superior, then yeah, but...
Or...
Oh, I see what you're saying, yeah.
It's a code of command. It's a hierarchy.
They should just relax.
It's like how the president still would call the vice president vice president. You know what I mean? Like that. They don't just... I mean, in this world we live in where we're recording this, Donald Trump could call Mike Pence whatever the fuck he wants. But like in a normal code of society, there would be like Vice President Mike Pence. But like in this world, he would be like Rubber Desk Johnny Mike Pence.
Now, the reason that we brought up this whole topic and I played that character was just to remind our audience that there is a sane world behind this insane world.
Yes, that's right. In the A-Team, the world where blue-eyed people exist, there is a reality. There's a grounded realism. This movie, really, what's it about? You know, like, what's it all about? And I think the movie's really about, not only is it weirdly enough for a movie that's about American patriotism, it's actually about camaraderie, which is often...
A long word, yes.
It's a very long word.
It's a very long word, yeah.
There's an M in there.
I said that. I said the M?
No, I'm saying a fun fact, there's an M in there.
And there's also a C as well. It starts with that.
There's a D as well.
Did you know that they cut a scene in this movie in which why BA stopped being a fighter was because he got brutally raped in prison? I'm kidding, that scene wasn't in there. But we did Big Stan on the show already, so we're experts on Big Stan. Oh my god.
Did anyone actually get raped in prison in Big Stan? There was just a...
Yes.
Well, there is lots of, you could say, rapey undertones throughout the whole thing.
Well,
so
yeah, we've
we didn't
dug deep into the film.
We did not physically see it, but yes.
You didn't physically see it, but...
I know there were definitely people intending.
I mean, I love Rob Schneider movies where they show hardcore anal penetration from man on man in a non-consensual way, but they didn't do it in that one. Oh, look, blue eyes.
Blue eyes, white dragon.
I was really waiting for like all the Lynch references. They were making all these references to Lynch in different ways, like, you're like Lynch from this guy. I was waiting for one of them to be like, David Lynch. And then like he was like, oh my god, and rips off his face, and it's actually the director, David Lynch, and he says like, no, it's me all along. And then like everything turns black and white. It becomes like a racer head. It becomes like a surrealist daydream of the A-Team.
Or we could just have like, more subtle joke, right? Another CIA agent comes in. It's like, oh, let me guess, your name's Lynch. Like, no, I'm David. See? Yeah. Easy laugh.
I'm so distracted even more by how blue everything is even now. Like, Jesus.
Particularly the eyes.
The other guy.
You mentioned Blue Eyes White Dragon before. He's wearing a white shirt. He's wearing a white shirt.
He's blue and even like...
Blue Eyes White shirt.
Yeah.
And he's wearing blue and the table is blue and...
Well, it's a cinematic technique called filtering.
And the sky is blue.
So actually, we don't see the sky in this scene, so we don't know.
We see the drown, though.
It could be green.
Well, they do go airborne, so, you know, I guess... Yeah,
hey.
The sky's blue. Maybe blue is the 18.
Ryan said, hey, he's got a point.
I've got a question.
Oh, he's got a
small question.
Whatever, Ryan. What's the question?
Why is it that certain few of them are in prisons in America, but then Sharlto Copley, said that completely wrong, is in Germany in a psychiatric hospital and not America? And he's not German.
They did say that they wanted to spread them out, but I don't know why they went international.
Like, hey, you guys! You three, you're in America. You're going to Germany. Like,
You're the crazy one.
Maybe they're like, where could we send you? Oh, you know what? Germany owes us.
And they have a special American asylum there for him to interact with American crazy people as well, which I loved.
He called them crazy.
It's because Murdoch is a very, very, very hard worker, so he has to be in a German prison with all the hard work in Germany.
But did you know Liam Neeson is an ex-smoker, so this role was really hard for him because he had to smoke all the time?
And then, as punishment for smoking,
he gets set on fire.
He said, put me inside the machine.
The machine?
Yeah.
It's a good thing he knew the ins and outs of a crematorium.
Well, he said...
Well, he's an ex-smoker.
He's an ex-smoker, and he said, give me the right dosage. I mean, perfect. Clearly they didn't, because he didn't wake up in time. I mean, he did, but just a little bit off.
So you're saying they actually thought he was dead and they wanted to cremate him, but they were recording it, and they're like, oh shit, he's actually...
Funniest ever videos.
Well, we gotta dub it over with some wacky voices then.
Oh boy, it's getting hot in here. Take off all my clothes. Oh my god.
And what?
This is the part where he gets superpowers. So
no, this is the part where this guy runs a dojo. And he's like, you are my first student of the League of Shadows. Oh boy.
I was really confused about what happened to that guy. Like
he fainted.
He faints, and then later on they're like, he did something to you, but like he didn't.
What do you mean?
Well, because they're like chewing him out, and it's like, oh, didn't they say like, oh, he knocked you out or he drugged you or something?
When?
Like when what's her face, Jessica Biel is like chewing him out for it.
That fat guy.
Yeah.
She's chewing him out.
Wasn't she?
I don't
She's
remember.
like, you've got to be the dumbest. You check his urine,
What?
Do you not remember that scene?
Did we watch the same movie?
Yes.
Did you watch an extended cut?
Because
I've watched just the theatrical cut, buddy.
I don't know what I watched. I just watched...
I don't know what I watched. It didn't have subtitles.
So your version even...
Okay, is this it?
No, she's...
Now I'm waiting for this scene where she's like, test his urine. I need urine of fat crematorium guys. I rub it on my skin.
Did it have the color blue in it, or did it have green? Like, what was this?
Whoa,
blue? Was this part red?
To be fair, that was ultraviolet.
Blue, guys.
So blue.
It's actually
I didn't even notice,
it's
when
blue.
I didn't notice when I was watching how much blue there actually was.
Well, it's because I notice things like this, and then I inform you, and you're like, holy shit, I can't get past
blue.
it.
Yeah, I can't look away.
It's not that blue.
It's pretty
Look how blue that shirt is.
I mean, it's very navy, but...
It's still blue.
It's not...
I love this quip here.
It's not true blue.
I love this quip.
It's not Pepsi blue.
You are really tan. What a great line. I mean, again, someone came up with this, and someone wrote a script for it, and they showed it to the thing, and they're like...
This is it, isn't... No, it's not.
You are way out of the ballpark. I don't know where this scene exists. Bartek, here's the thing. I don't actually want to discredit you because I really hope that this scene exists.
It does. I watched it happen. It's not an amazing scene or anything, but it happens.
It's the best scene.
It's not that amazing.
It's the only scene that matters.
It's the best scene.
The only scene that matters.
It's the best scene in the movie. I can't wait for the scene. I can't wait for the scene in which Jessica Biel says sexily, "Give me that man's urine."
No, she doesn't say... at the very end, like, the punchline of the scene is like, if I were you, I'd test his urine.
They're like, hold his dick. And she's like, I'll hold the cup. I can't wait for this scene, Bartek. It'll be like we're watching it in the end credits will roll. Like, I still can't wait for this scene, Bartek. And then he reveals, oh no, it was me playing Final Fantasy. That's where it was. And then there's a level where you have to hold a jar for a guy to pee in. Silly me.
Oh, you're right. Jessica Biel made a cameo in the right.
Well, the guy from Hurley from Lost was in there, wasn't he?
Yeah, that was weird. So did it look like now would have been personal. The audience doesn't know what we're talking about.
We're talking about how Hurley from Lost did blackface to play B.A. Baracus. It was really awkward too.
Yeah, it's really awkward. It didn't.
Would it be really awkward if he never read that license plate and he just kept sitting there humming to himself, being like, I like me some Gandhi, but I don't know all of his quotes until Liam says them to my face.
Oh, Ryan, that was beautiful.
It was his
that
singing.
choreography.
It was more beautiful than that scene that you don't remember, or apparently doesn't exist.
I like how you don't remember, but now it's even up for debate if it's in the movie.
I mean, I've seen it. I know it exists.
Are you thinking it's just in the trailer?
I haven't watched the trailer. I grabbed comments from the trailer, but
Wow, Bartek, you should really watch the trailer.
God, I hope he brought the...
So is this the scene?
Well,
I'm looking for any scene with Jessica Biel wanting a jar of urine from the fat crematorium guy. And you're sure it's a crematorium guy?
I mean, it's a fat guy and she's chewing him out for letting someone escape, so it has to be.
Ah, man, I can't wait for the crematorium guy's pee.
He doesn't... It cuts away when she asks for the... She doesn't ask for the pee, but she's recognized...
Give me his pee! I use it to lotion up my hair, god damn it.
I like how B.A. was more than happy to just jump out of the truck without even thinking about
Well, he's afraid
That's camaraderie.
He's afraid of flying, not jumping.
Yeah,
Hear that,
not
Roger
jumping
Ebert?
out.
That's camaraderie.
He can be airborne for like a
Why
split
are you
second
saying
out of
that?
a truck.
You're saying it funny.
Because Roger Ebert gave this film like 1.5 stars.
Yeah. I just loved the way you said camaraderie.
Hmm?
I just loved the way you said camaraderie then.
Did I mispronounce it?
It was great. You were just saying, like, you were talking, and then I could just hear you in the background say, take that, Roger Ebert. That's how you do camaraderie. And I'm like, yes, I want my camaraderie.
I said camaraderie.
Camaraderie?
That's how I
Sounds
say it.
like a cult camaraderie.
Cama?
That's how I
It's
say
the
it.
Illuminati
That's not
and
how you say it, though, is it?
How do you say it?
Camaraderie.
Yeah, can you
Camaraderie.
tell us more about your cult, the camaraderie.
I didn't say
It actually-
the Illuminati.
It sounds like
I
a
pronounce
kind
it
of
with an
cult.
R.
It sounds like a kind of cult that would be in G.I. Joe.
Camaraderie.
Camaraderie, and then they like smack their hands and do like a snake symbol with their hands, like snake heads. Like, I'm a part of the camaraderie.
Friendship.
and it's like, yes, it's me, Cobra Commander, a part of the camaraderie.
What I was trying to say though is that Roger Ebert
Didn't like
did
this
not
film.
this film.
Well, Roger Ebert
He
died,
thought-
so who cares what
Yeah,
he
he
has to
thought,
say?
He thought that it was an incomprehensible mess.
You know who is an incomprehensible mess? His jaw. Oh!
Oh!
Couldn't stay on his face
But he smiled.
forever.
Yeah.
You know, he gave Wolf Creek 2 thumbs down, apparently.
2 whole thumbs.
Use
Yeah.
both hands.
Yeah, I believe so. Or he didn't rate it at all.
What about Wolf Creek 2?
Did
you
I
know-
don't know if he was alive then. Well,
Quentin Tarantino gave Wolf Creek 1 a high recommendation. He loves it.
Yeah, but unfortunately, no one gives Wolf Creek 2 the same credit it deserves,
Yes.
except for us.
That's why we.
That's
did it in the
why
show.
we are doing A-Team.
Absolutely.
That's why you recommended that movie for the show, Stefan.
I did.
Yeah.
Oh my
I love the
God.
sand and the dirt.
It's the A-Team.
The A-Team.
Like, I like that guy saluting still. I love crazy people. Like guy.
Ryan, they called the mentally ill.
He is a good actor.
Oh,
like,
retards, you're right, sorry.
he plays Michael Bay really well, I think.
I'm still waiting for this jar of urine scene. Bartek, it's gotten so late in the game.
It's not my fault that your copy.
I
your
don't
Netflix copy.
think it's going to happen.
Netflix. Is
My
clearly,
next flick is going to be fat guy peeing into a jar of urine.
Is that Fat Albert?
Hey, it's me peeing in a jar of urine.
Look, I don't know why this copy of the film doesn't have it.
I don't think it exists. I
I've
think
seen
you're
it.
making it
it
up.
exists.
You
I
would have
think-
seen it yesterday too, or something like that.
I think
yeah.
Bartek's a
Yes.
liar. I think he's a trickster. I think he just wanted us to talk about peeing in jars of urine because Bartek went to
I
the
never
doctor the other
mentioned a
day and
jar.
they said, And they said, Bartek,
I never mentioned a
Bartek
jar.
very awkward because he got his prostate exam very young. And they also said, while you're here, could you pee in this jar for us? Oh, there's Reginald Barkley, by the way. The name appeared on the movie that they're watching, which is The Great Escape, even though they're using the theme of the A-Team.
I've never had to pee for a doctor in terms of analysis, Ryan.
For pleasure.
Yeah, but
Yes.
for pleasure, have you?
No. After my surgery, they said, like, all right.
They just drained your bladder without permission.
No. They said, like, when you're able to pee, that's a good sign.
Oh.
Because after surgery, like, your
But
bowels...
was your doctor Jessica Biel?
No.
Well, I don't know, Bartek. The 3D's pretty good in this movie.
It was Dr. Speck.
Speck?
Yeah.
That
He's
that
Dr.
sounds-
Gary Speck. He's
Related to Spock.
I believe in Melbourne, he's one of the top
P-jar doctors.
top spine surgeons.
Ooh,
You got the
that's
top
really specific, man.
You got the top shit doctor.
You got someone who didn't want to just,
But did you get Jessica
surgery.
Biel to ask for a fat guy's urine sample? These are the questions I need answers to.
To be fair, she didn't want his urine sample.
She said,
just
test
told,
him.
She just told the people that worked there, if I were you, I would check his urine.
I just don't know if...
In fact, I believe she said I would check it, like, hourly or something.
What?
Yeah.
Ow.
Where's this scene?
I don't know if she's hourly, but, like, very regularly.
I love this scene here, just like how everyone's just so polite. Like, hey, yeah, we're a fugitive, we're federal fugitive with guns, and you guys don't. So,
Friendliest mutiny ever.
give us, it's a theft. They're stealing the plane, and these guys are like, oh, okay. I like how they're not even pissed or scared. They just like accept it. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
right.
okay, yeah, sure. I mean,
Sure,
You know, if Jessica Biel's chasing them, I think your copy of the film just doesn't have the scene.
what
why
are
would
you
she
saying? Your copy doesn't? The one that you watched didn't have her chasing them. Instead,
No,
it was
no,
an
no,
hour-long
no.
drama about her getting
No,
urine sample.
no, listen, Ryan. I'm saying that if we're already at the point where she's chasing them, she's not going to go back to, random fat guy
I
that-
said this. I said this a few moments ago. Where I was like, I think we're a bit late in the game for the urine sample scene.
Yeah.
But we're gonna keep going back to it because are you sure it's a crematorium guy? Maybe she's talking about like the sniper. I mean the guy that they capture later on, the one that has the great scene with the gun and the silencer, like the bald guy.
No, that's way too late.
No, I'm saying they capture him and interrogate him, and they're like, maybe she's saying to him like, we're gonna check your sample.
No, because she's not the one that was going to check the sample. She was recommending people that she doesn't work with check someone's samples.
Yeah, well, she was in a German police station, so maybe she's talking about them.
No.
I need to see this
I just
scene.
really want to back Bartek. You think I'm against you? I want to back you up on this urine sample scene.
And I'm
But
saying that I don't
just-
think your copy has it, so you're not going to see
I'm
it.
just
and
saying
you're gonna
it must exist.
It exists. I did watch it.
I,
you got to think. Can you look it
Yeah,
up or
I
something?
know. I will never look this up. We are going to watch the entire movie and stop talking about it, only to talk about urine samples.
But your copy
Has
clearly
anyone
doesn't have
taken a
it.
urine sample before?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, what for? Drugs?
Yeah, of course. Drugs,
Oh,
crack
workplace
cocaine,
environments.
Oh, well, I've been to the doctors and all that kind of stuff. But,
I've been to doctors too. They never asked for my urine.
oh, well, I don't know what they're doing with mine, but I hear that mine has, really, really sublime properties.
Does it?
Yes.
Taste yummy?
Does it taste good?
Well, they told me it tasted yummy. So, yeah,
Okay.
they're going to sell it.
Have you ever had to give a semen sample?
Semen sample. To whom?
Anyone. Anyone you've been willing to give.
A sample,
Yeah,
not like...
But it's like, I want to search this urine scene up, but I just don't know what the time. I'm gonna...
18 urine sample.
Yeah, A-team urine. That's all right, and it should come up. But,
hope so.
Bartek, can you please talk about this legendary scene? Like, can you bring up the action in this movie? Because you're an action aficionado. And this is, I mentioned this earlier, this is like the iconic scene in all the trailers, and it's probably one of the most fun and inventive. It probably has your favorite characters in it as well, which is elderly people dynamite fishing.
So, it's kind of weird. The fat guy is sitting down, and I seem to recall him not saying anything.
Wait, which fat guy?
The
crematorium guy?
Yeah.
Well, we're still on him, are we? Yeah?
Isn't that what you were just asking me?
No, I meant talk about this sequence here.
Oh, when you said this sequence, I thought you were talking about...
Let's talk about the crematorium guy. He was sitting down in your version, was he?
Yes.
In mine, he's dancing.
Well, no, that happens too, but later on, when he's being chewed out, he's
Allegedly.
down. No, you wanted me to talk about this sequence?
Yes, this is probably the most iconic sequence in the movie in terms of the fact that it has the tank and it has a great comedic end.
Yeah.
This scene is so good. So good that they had a similar one in Fast and Furious 7, with vehicles falling out the sky, which they obviously ripped from here.
So
they actually did. So you were saying?
So this scene has, the tank, and I imagine this is something that a lot of people would walk into the film knowing about. Is that a fair thing to say? Because it was in the trailer and all that?
Yeah.
I walked in not knowing about it, but when he said, get onto the cannon, turn it, I immediately thought of a trick in some of the GTA games you can do when you have the tank, is when you're driving tank, not too fast of a vehicle, but if you turn the cannon around and fire the infinite ammo cannons, you get a nice boost and you can go very fast. So I was thinking I think I know where they're going with this. And that's where they went, and I was very happy, and then I was very sad that my Germans did not have subtitles.
Oh, fuck, you didn't even get to hear what they said. It's so great. You have to watch it when it happens. They're going to be your favorite characters.
I'm looking forward to it, but the actions that they did were very funny. Big explosion, grandma doesn't look, but she laughs. Did she want to die?
She's basically... You have to watch it when it happens. We'll talk about... It's basically her telling him off for cheating at because dynamite fishing is cheating. Okay, it's not fair. Yeah. And then this big explosion happens. She turns around and he's flipped over and she's like, haha.
Yeah. Okay.
He got what he deserved. By the way, when I type in A-Team urine...
Yeah.
The first result says, scientists find a sweet new way to measure pee in pools.
Okay.
A sweet new way.
Sweet.
That's what they said.
When I think scientists, I think a sweet new way to find pee in pools.
Freaking sweet. Not great.
And then the Google, and then the YouTube search I can find is a team of scientists from Belgium build a machine that turns urine into something. That's great.
Because you just wrote a team.
A
team of scientists.
Yeah, so
I didn't write. Fine. I write A team, the A and the team. I thought just A team would do, but that's my fucking.
Yeah, you realize. Oh wait, a team.
So guys, none of us have watched the original series.
No, never seen it.
But do we have a favorite character in this movie of the team?
I mean,
they're all pretty great.
Yeah, I think it's hard.
You have to choose.
Yeah, I'm saying I think it's hard not to pick Murdoch, honestly.
Murdoch?
I'm gonna go with Hannibal and the only reason I'm not picking Murdoch is because he looks too much like Michael Bay, who I don't like.
Which is funny because he looks nothing like Michael Bay. It's really weird.
Again, I think he looks more like Luke Wilson, but only a little bit.
He looks exactly like the guy for District 9. It's creepy. So my favorite is, I actually like Face. Just because his name's Face.
Yeah. That's pretty shallow.
He's a pretty boy.
He's a pretty boy. Face. It's not fair to the fish. Fuck off. Yeah, you're cheating. Yeah. The logic. It's at the beginning of Crocodile Dundee 2, where he's dynamite fishing in New York or wherever, and people are like, "You're crazy," and he's like, "It's me, Paul Hogan," and they're like, "Oh, fair enough."
Honestly, I found this scene very funny, not knowing what they were saying.
It's even funnier knowing. And then look. I like when they cut back to her later, where it's this woman said that she saw a guy who looks exactly like Murdoch. I'm like, that's great that she knew that. I like that she knew that what Murdoch looked like enough by him asking directions to Berlin, and she points with a carrot or something she's holding, some food. So you were about to say something emotional about it.
Before I say, what was the point you were making? She recognized him?
Later on, they're we know they're heading to here because the woman, with a guy resembling Murdoch. This is the exact scene.
She could remember what he looked like.
Yeah. She has blue eyes too.
Oh my.
Well, she's German, right?
She's...
Yeah, every German has blue eyes, especially Hitler.
Well, after Hitler was done with everything, they're like, you know what? He was kind of onto something with the blue eyes.
Yeah, he had brown eyes.
Yeah, he sucked a bit, but he wasn't German. You know.
He was Austrian, so it was a bit more embarrassing.
He was a
Is this the scene? Like, every scene of her doing something.
I'm
waiting for urine.
I do
to
like
be
the
mentioned.
idea of, like, despite the fact that all this development has happened, like, they've escaped, she would take the time to go and
check.
shoo out at him at this point.
No, it's after she sees Face in the photo booth, she gets handcuffed and she's like, I'm gonna take my anger out on that fat guy.
Then at the end, she's like, I'm gonna do everything in my power to help you. But then and she's like, you know what? It is kind of shitty that he could escape. I'm gonna chew that guy before I help him.
I'm gonna chew out that fat guy. The fat guy's like, Hamm, leave me alone. Like, I know I'm fat, but like, gosh, I work in a crematorium. Do you know how upsetting it is to be me?
And
he was pretty happy in the scene.
He just wants to
but then he saw a guy come to life from.
Well, that's true.
When I type in A-Team, one of the things is A-Team meaning, and I want to know what that means.
Alpha Team.
It does. It means Alpha Team. Or a group of players forming one side in a competitive game or sport.
Yeah, that's a team.
A-Team.
Yeah, it's a team.
Yeah, that's true.
When I read that, I thought, like, what a weird thing to say from the A-Team.
Yeah, that's why your before thing was like a team of scientists finding urine things.
Alright, I wrote A-Team with a hyphen and everything, because that's how they go. What do I write? Urine sample scene?
Well, the sample doesn't happen. That's just a punchline.
A-Team urine sky is the one thing
a team urine sky.
So what, like skydivers doing urine?
No, it's the
formations?
skies made out of urine. A-Team urine scene fight. Yeah.
Like two different teams, sport teams, urinating on each other.
Yeah, it's like, you know that episode of South Park where they go to the water park and it becomes so much filled with urine that it becomes like a tidal wave.
And Kenny drowns.
Okay, so a League of Their Own pee scene. A League of Their Own, the pee scene is what comes up.
The A-League though.
Oh, I get it. League because it's another word for
A
team.
League of Their Own. 17 best peeing scenes in a movie.
Well, it has to be in there because this is the greatest movie ever.
Nicole Kidman urinating on Zac Efron's face in the movie The Paperboy. No stunt pee was used in this film, Nicole Kidman says. That's great. 5 actors who do the exact same style of peeing in every movie.
Oh, the styles of peeing.
No, sorry. 5 actors who do the exact same thing in every movie. Tom Hanks pees in every movie, apparently.
Not in Toy Story.
When he's in them, though. Like, when he's physically there.
Okay.
That makes sense. Because they have Saving Private Ryan, and then, like, the main issue of The Green Mile is he has a hard time peeing. Oh my god, what a weird thing to discover. I just keep getting news stories about Nicole Kidman actually peeing on Zac Efron's face.
Okay.
What a weird thing to have as your day out. Is this the pee scene? Like, these are the things I'll keep asking.
Ryan, you've clearly got an inferior copy of the film.
I'm actually really...
The official Netflix copy.
I'm really confused. So, who out of us all, we aren't experts on the A-Team.
No.
I mean, I have an understanding of the general mythos of the A-Team and the team involving the A. Did we even know before going in that everyone had blue eyes, but also that what the A stood for?
No. Again, I really didn't know.
I just kind of assumed it was Alpha. Actually, I assumed it was that made sense to me in my head.
I didn't even necessarily know that they were military.
Military, huh? You didn't? You just thought they were weirdos?
They could have just... Look, I really didn't know anything about the series. They just could have been 4 people who go out for adventures and save people and teach them good lessons.
Yeah, they could be just 4
Again,
guys.
remember,
Yeah.
I was still hung up on this idea of Mr. T, who, like, you know, he's a motivational speaker and all that kind of stuff. Well,
now...
He does specials. So I thought, oh, maybe they do, like, heroic stuff like that and teach people good lessons? I don't know. I really didn't know much about the A-Team. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, that's okay, but Bartek, it's okay.
Why?
Well,
Why is
in
it
the
okay?
extended cut, there are 2 F-bombs. Adios, motherfucker, which is removed from this movie.
There was definitely F-bombs in my copy.
There was F-bombs in this too.
Yeah, okay.
There are 25 extended scenes.
What?
Really?
Yes. Hannibal recites the rules of the Army Rangers at the start.
I think I remember that.
Okay, I need... You guys talk bravely about this chemistry between Jessica Biel and Bradley Cooper while I find the pee scene.
I feel it, man. I feel it. Oh my god, he's just like, oh, you're so hot.
Very good commentary. Keep going.
Just do it, Brad. Do it, Brad. You're such a good actor. Do you think like when they were performing
Stefan,
this scene?
I think maybe you're not the best because your last name is Bradley, so you might like be projecting.
Oh yeah, Bradley. Yeah. You think like when they were doing this for real, like how many times did she have to stop because of his beautiful eyes?
Well, he's no Jonathan Taylor Thomas, so it's not the same thing.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh no, sorry. The joke on the show is that it's Matthew Broderick.
Who's not Matthew Broderick?
I'm sorry.
Is there a scene in your version, Bartek, in which there's an Asian man who has a mohawk? Is this man in this movie?
Yes! That's not in your copy?
You watched the extended cut where there are 26 extra scenes.
Well, extended. So how much long is this one?
I don't know. I really still need to find out about this pee scene though.
That was a good scene. That was also a Jessica Biel scene.
Oh my god.
So in you know how she and her guys come to the base and she has them watch them, but they somehow escape and set up the plan. They're watching the tent. They can see their silhouettes.
Yeah.
But it's 4 random frat boy military guys that were paid.
Oh, here it is. Yeah.
They were paid by them, and they're like, we got $50 each, and the Asian guy at the mohawk pointed at the mohawk, was like, I got 100, implying that he had to shave his head, so he got a bit extra.
So here's a fun fact about the Bartek cut.
Yeah.
Is at the end of this movie, Stefan, I don't know about your cut, Bartek, but at the end of this movie, there's cutscenes at the end, at the very end credits. Do you see these end scene stingers?
I don't.
Because the stingers of this is a scene that they actually do have in the movie, which is a fellow convict with Face, who's really tan and much better, is the original actor of Face.
Yeah.
And Bradley Cooper basically is like, you're great. And he's like, thanks for the tan, Bradley. And he's like, you got it. And then that's it. Like, they have that just shoved at the end. And then back to back with another scene of Dwight Schultz electroshocking Murdoch at the end. But these are actually in the extended cut.
Yeah.
Like, in scenes.
Yeah.
Like, those two I just mentioned are after, at the end.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the movie. Like, after, the
those
credits.
were in the film. When I watched it.
These aren't. But here's Bartek's legendary scene. It's at 55 minutes in. A new scene in which Sosa interrogates Gilbert, is his name, by the way, who fainted after witnessing Hannibal's resurrection. He doesn't handle it well and faints again after she threatens him. Gilbert, I see him standing there, and I was like, what? And then I turned black, and I woke up, and my face was numb, and you mopped up the footprints that led out, ignored the facts that your lab coat pass card, car keys, and car were missing. And then, this is a stage direction. Yeah. Looks like... Oh, no, this is actually, a direction. She looks at him like he ate Smith. I don't know what that means. Sosa, Gilbert, you've either deliberately aided and abetted a federal fugitive's escape, or you're the single dumbest human I've ever come in contact with. You smell that? Don't talk about it. Would you like to know which way I'm leaning? Forward? And then her to the doctor. I would guess this man's urine on the hour.
Yeah, that's it.
I thought you were making this up.
No.
Bartek watched a different film.
No, well, it was the extended cut. It's the same film.
No. It's the same. Yes, it technically is the same film, but when you watch an extended cut, it becomes a different movie.
This isn't a case of The Covenant, Ryan.
The fact that you think of it, it's like a different timeline.
It's the same movie, just less things happen. That's all. Same hits.
It could be like a timeline where Bartek watches the extended cut first, and a timeline where he watches the normal Netflix version, and his impression of the movie is changed completely in those two timelines.
Well, they're all non-essential things.
Well, I don't know. We spent a lot of time on this one.
We spent a lot of time.
Ryan.
Hey, you joined in, mister. You joined in on the...
Because, what am I going to do? Just block you the whole time? No, let's talk about this instead.
Apparently, the movie you watched is 18 minutes longer.
Yeah.
Wow.
When Bartek came here to the show before we started, he said, that was a long movie. And I said, it was just under 2 hours. And you looked me dead in the eyes and said, yeah, I know. The version you watched is nearly 2 hours and 20 minutes.
I seem to remember it was 2 hours 8.
Wow. But let's get back to the not peeing scenes. Well, I wonder if in the director's cut...
no peeing in the
hey, we haven't watched the director's cut.
No, we haven't. So
we haven't watched the Bartek cut.
Yeah.
It was a good cut.
Yeah, that's what the doctor said. Into his spine.
Gee, he gets shot a lot.
Do you have a spinal scar?
Well, I haven't seen it, but I know the spot. You can check afterwards if you want. You can check now if you want.
Hey, is there a reason? Okay.
Okay, change the
Interesting
topic.
question. In your extended cut, does it explain why this guy's eyes are weird?
I don't think so.
From here on in, they're all oh, I know. He got the tear gassed earlier, but then his eyes stay weird for the rest of the movie. But in the first few scenes we saw him without the sunnies on, he looked normal. Is he? Did he get
Well, I mean, when
powers?
he had the sunnies on, you didn't really see it.
No. We've seen him without sunnies briefly, when it's revealed that he screwed them over. In that scene where he's walking through all the smoke and stuff, he had normal eyes.
Well, they gotta make him look more evil.
That's true. I love looking evil.
Maybe he just didn't sleep well, Ryan. Or maybe he was chopping up some chili, but then rubbed his eyes.
Maybe he was oh my god, I've gotten bolder in these last 6 months. It's been really rough for me.
Jeez, Biel has been shot quite a lot in this movie.
Well,
Good thing the previous time was 8 years ago.
Well, since the opening 20-minute sequence, it's been 8 years and 6 months.
8.5 years, yeah.
I want to be precise. 6 months.
Still, he's both unlucky and lucky.
Oh, and also time has passed since they broke out of the prison, so it's probably
8 months and 2 days.
8 months.
8 months. Oh, you mean since
8 years, 6 months and 2 days? You mean?
No, 8 months, 6 years.
Gotta be precise. That's what you said.
I didn't say it like that, Bartek. Get accuracy right. Mimic me perfectly or not at all.
Oh, fuck people in the ass. Right.
That's really mean to do that, your mum's impersonation on the show, Bartek. That's
Ryan,
really rude of you.
That was you.
That was really rude.
You asked for you.
I'm still waiting.
You asked for you.
I'm still waiting.
Right, I don't like Metal Gear Solid 2. I don't think it's very good.
And I'm right about that. I love how much I'm right now.
I'm gonna focus on the parts where I'm right rather than when I'm wrong, and then I'll change the topic when I'm wrong about something.
Except for when I explain when you actually allow me to explain myself fully, and then you agreed.
And then it becomes a thing where it's you didn't explain it that well, and you really had to.
Because you kept interrupting by being change the topic, I see, instead of actually letting me go to fruition. Because Stefan was on about.
So round 1, round 2. Round 1.
I'm number 1. Just to let you all know. Let the listening people know that I'm Ryan number 1.
I can't remember if Bartek liked Metal Gear Solid 2. Round 1, can you confirm whether you liked it? A lot?
Can Ryan 2 confirm it?
Yeah, Ryan 2.
He has really misguided views, but yes, he does.
So Ryan 2, would I like Metal Gear Solid 2? I haven't actually even played any of them, so...
So why are you asking Ryan 2?
The best part of this is we've been working on the assumption that he's played them.
No, I know that he hasn't played them.
I've been working... You're Ryan 1, damn it! Ryan 1 would understand that he hadn't played them.
That's true.
Right.
Bartek understands, but Ryan 1... Do the voice. Do the voice.
I thought that he had played them.
There you go. Good Ryan.
Okay.
Jesus.
Ryan 1, which is apparently Good Ryan. I have not
Good Ryan! You're bad Ryan, real Ryan.
I have not played Metal Gear Solid, but I will get there.
Well,
eventually.
I think the greatest thing about this whole entire debacle about the Metal Gear Solid thing was, look, you worked on this knowledge that he has not played Metal Gear Solid, so he hasn't really got the concept right. Mm-hmm. But I was working on the knowledge, he was working on the knowledge that I have seen Kong Skull Island. Thus, we both knew what we were talking about, and you and him knew what you guys were talking about when it came to Metal Gear Solid in that regard. But him and I understood what we were talking about when it came to the director of Kong Skull Island being in charge of Metal Gear. Would do it in that Hollywood style in which none of it would make any real sense to what the actual core material is.
I wasn't really addressing any of the Metal Gear stuff towards him, though.
It's okay. No, but I thought you were on the assumption that he has played the games, but you knew that he hadn't. Mm-hmm. That's what I mean.
Right, yeah, I just brought it up because...
Also, does this guy not really look like Colin Firth in this weird makeup? I was like, why does he look like Colin Firth?
Much older, but yeah, he does.
But when Colin Firth's in old man makeup and
you know what? In
or disheveled
in
makeup.
Centurions 2, he did have a beard.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Or like in Kingsman Secret Service when he has like a beard when he like wakes up from like a coma. He's like, shave me. Yeah. So, guys, this is all set in Europe.
Yeah.
Europe?
Yeah, it is.
Isn't the European countryside beautiful in this movie?
It is. It's beautiful. It's absolutely amazing. And it really brings out their blue eyes.
Yeah, Europeans only have blue eyes. That's a fact.
Well, that's true.
That's a fact.
Well, Liam Neeson is European.
Yeah.
Is he now?
Yeah, Taken was a French movie, even though there was a very lack of...
France.
Yeah, France, really. Yeah.
How to take you, my daughter.
Taken.
I love this line delivery. Give me 5 minutes. Like his face just like...
Fuck, man, he's playing Call of Duty.
I like how he actually waited 5 minutes though. Like, yeah. Oh wait, you like Liam Neeson looks at his watch like, it's been 5 minutes. Oh no, it's a trap. Like it's 5 minutes 1, 5 minutes 2. Oh no. So, Bartek, you've been to Europe before.
Yeah, many times.
Is this really Europe that they're showing us in this movie?
Well, I've never been to this part of Europe.
But you've seen enough of Europe to understand what's the real Europe and what's the fake Europe, yeah?
Have I?
Have you been to Europe before?
Yeah. And you're saying I've seen enough of it?
Yeah, you've seen enough of the landscape to be like, nah, it looks like an American-style Europe.
I guess, well, yeah, the mountains do kind of remind me of Poland.
There you go, see? Mm-hmm. This is all I'm asking, Bartek. It's like when we see in movies what they think Australia looks like, even though I've never actually been out to the Australian desert before, I can still tell that's not Australia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking.
All right. The way you made
Why
it sound...
are we always on the opposite sides of
just
this,
because
Bartek? Let's be on Stefan's side about Metal Gear and just say that we've never played it.
No, it's just because when you asked me that question, I thought you implied that I've been like in every country of Europe.
No, you've been in enough of... Europe all bleeds together.
Not really.
It's got the European countryside.
Yeah, there are some that are like, really cloudy and murky.
Like this place.
Much.
I've been
God,
to
those
Europe.
eyes.
Raise a hand.
Never been to Italy. Europe. Italy's a lot different.
Italy's for scum.
Yeah, I've been to England and I've been to France. Beautiful place.
Mainstream. I can see all the blue mainstream.
Yeah, it's very mainstream though. France, where Taken was made.
France, fuck them. They couldn't even form a good defensive strategy against the Nazis, let alone be a good nation to visit.
They got a good, medical system though.
Yeah, but they banned the burqa, so let's get political now.
Burgers are American, Ryan, so
Yeah, the Americans' burgers, yeah.
But burgers.
Burgers.
Yeah, that's
I said burqa.
I know, but...
Hey, he mentioned Call of Duty. I've played that game before. Much better than Metal Gear Solid 2.
I've never played Call of Duty, so I can't say.
I have played Call of Duty. Were you assuming that I hadn't? Because I have played it.
I was assuming that you had, and I also assumed Bartek had, but then he revealed he had not. Is this the urine scene? Oh, wait a moment. We actually found out the answer to that question.
Yes.
You seem like a Metal Gear. You seem like a Call of Duty kind of guy.
It was the... No, I'm not.
Yeah, no, you
don't. I don't seem like that at all.
You play the games of,
Holy shit, you knew.
You play games.
Yeah, I played the games.
You're chasing cars, leaving scars.
Yeah, you're not a multiplayer kind of guy, really. I don't think. You're not an online multiplayer kind of guy.
Nah.
He doesn't have internet. He's too busy buying extended cuts of the A-Team to watch. I love that it got so late in the movie that you're like, hey, where's this scene? Yet, when I looked at the extended cuts, it's like, that scene with the general? That scene goes for 8 minutes. That's half of the extended.
Wow.
Which scene with the general?
Where he's talking to the general having a drink. That goes for 8 minutes longer.
Okay.
Don't know what they included. I guess it's like they're more buddy-buddy. Hey, why is she so sexy in this one scene and not in any of the other scenes? Like in this particular scene, because she's like got this crinkled shirt that's really low buttoned.
I saw something.
Like, see?
When was the last time she ironed that?
Well, she was too busy capturing guys with blue eyes, except for any minority.
This woman needs to iron that shirt.
I mean,
is the main thought of the film.
I mean, really, it's all crinkled, but she's like really like a 10 out of 10, and then she's like a solid 7 for the rest of the movie. Like she's fine. She's like she could play your wife.
Earlier in the film, she reminded me a lot of
me.
Hillary, yes.
Really? Oh, I'm glad.
Hillary
Duff.
Hilary Swank.
Oh, they're gonna say Clinton.
From the core.
me too.
Oh, when she was blonde.
Well, I mean, like because she was wearing like the uniform and.
Yes, that makes sense.
Physique.
Military woman.
Yeah, and the physique.
Of a military woman.
Yeah, but now she's like.
Well, you don't see a fatty military woman, do you? You don't see like corporal fat girl.
Ideally, you wouldn't have too many like too fat people
in a movie.
In the military.
Oh, and you don't want too many fat people because you're gonna run out of rations.
It's rations, Ryan.
Oh, okay, guys, let's join the camaraderie.
No, camaraderie.
I was like, let's join the chameleon raderie.
What else do I say wrong? Debt.
Instead of debt.
Yeah.
Debt. This guy's eyebrows are fucking off the charts in this movie. Like the guy, the assassin guy. I loved this sequence.
I love this sequence too.
This is like I love when he's like, please don't let this guy shoot me.
Last request,
please let anyone else but this guy. I actually thought that he was going to be like, yeah, shoot me in the head, and then lean forward and then he shoots the other guy. I thought that was going to be like what happened because even the guy said, hey, wait a minute, he's behind you. Like he was smart enough.
Like exit wound.
Yeah, exactly, exit wound. He was like, you got me. But then he just disarmed them because...
Exit wound leading into another penetration.
It's called ricochet.
I mean, I don't know if that would count as ricochet. Ricochet is when it bounces off something.
It's bouncing off his fucking brain.
This is penetrating through.
Okay. Penetrate.
It's like what Ocelot does in the first Metal Gear Solid. See, you like that one?
That's the best one.
It's pretty good.
It's decent, isn't it? Like
you said, it was the best one. Why are you saying decent?
Decent still means best.
I mean,
it is decent.
Decent sounds more acceptable than amazing.
No, like every episode is just decently designed. Like like I can't think of a level in that game that I don't like the layout of, the challenges within.
It's got pretty good layout.
It's decent. Like it's just solid. Like when I say decent, I mean like it's just quality, solid, meticulous. Like
solid,
very workman. Like you feel the craft in it, the workmanship of that particular game, and then the rest of them are like. You feel like artists are involved, you know what I mean? Like, instead of, like, people who know how to make games as much.
The fourth one, I could probably give you that. Although it does have a part where you go to Shadow Moses Island. So,
I guess I like the third one, but I just don't like being in the jungle forever. Because, again, layouts.
There is a lot of layout going on.
But, Stefan, you're a Call of Duty expert. You're the COD expert.
How's the design?
When they made COD... How come there wasn't a cheat code to unlock the A-Team?
You know what? That's a good question.
Yeah, it's a very good question. It's decent.
I think, it's decent. And I think the reason is because I just couldn't afford the actors from
Mr. T is very affordable. Wait, is he... Actually, that's a good question. Does Mr. T do any voice work in COD? Because everyone does voice work in COD, it seems. Like, even Gary Oldman does a voice.
You know what?
I do voice work when I talk to myself.
This is jumping back to the 80s, but you know what he did do voice work for?
Oh, I don't know what.
His own cartoon.
The T Show?
Yeah, the Mr. T Show.
I remember that kind of. As in...
Yeah, Stefan, he was born in the 70s, got the raise in the 80s.
So I remember there was a show.
I remember when I was a kid, it was played very briefly on Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
So
did he say he pitied the fool?
Probably. The only thing I really remember is in the opening credit sequence, there's a lot of gymnastics going on. And then when I watched it yesterday, I was like, yeah, this is a lot of gymnastics, and it's not Mr. T doing them.
So, Stefan, you're a Mr. T expert as well. Did you know that Mr. T never stated, I pity the fool in the A-Team? The
Really?
TV show. Never.
Rocky 3 thing.
It was a Rocky 3 thing.
Really?
And then it just became his thing in real life. He never said it in the A-Team. Not once. The only thing, really, about the A-Team that's iconic about Mr. T is just his look. That's about it. Like,
well, that's true.
Just that, and you get the plenty of quantity of him on the screen. But other than that, the iconic thing of him is really in all Rocky 3. That's why when Bartek said early on, you would say that like this is his most recognizable role. I'm like, I guess because it's the one where he's in things the most, but really
his look, yeah.
Rocky 3, I would say, because it has Pity the Fool.
Definitely, yeah.
It has the famous scene that I love so much. Not famous, but like the best scene in any Rocky movie in which he's heckling him outside of a court. And then he's like, "Yo, Adrian! Adrian!" And then Rocky loses it. It's great.
Also, I really like seeing Baracus in this scene right here.
Pretending to be a rabbi?
It's because he reminds me a lot of, it's
of the scene in Trading Places.
Oh no,
with Eddie
Cody
Murphy.
Banks too, with Anthony Anderson, because he dresses up like that, doesn't he?
Oh yes, he does.
Yeah,
it seems like Anthony Anderson should have been in this movie as Mr. T.
That would have been great.
I ate the whole plate. That's like in the first have you ever seen the first Transformers movie?
I've only seen the first.
Yes.
One.
Okay, I actually haven't, but the one line of dialogue I know from it is how like in the first in the Transformers movies they're trying to be comedies, but nothing's ever funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Anthony Anderson's in the first one, yeah, but he's not in any of the others, I think. He has a line of dialogue that is clearly improvised, but I've heard it, but I actually quite like it. When they got it like interrogating him, they're asking him some question. And he's inanely talking about something. He's talking about like a plate of food, and he just goes like, "I ate the whole plate." And he just says it, and he says it, and they look at him, and he just looks back and he goes, "The whole plate." And it's just like, why is he saying this?
Ryan, I still these days think about Chocolate Surprise and how much I want to eat it.
What do you mean?
There was his dessert from Cody Banks 2.
Oh yeah, his chocolate
Surprise.
His chocolate salty balls. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like that too, but that's someone else. That's Izakay's.
Izakay's? He needs more evidence.
Yes, he needs more evidence.
So
he needs more bowls.
We finally get a ferry on this movie. We've always been wanting ferries.
This film needed a boat.
Oh no, his head's not feeling okay, but he cooked him some food.
His favourite.
I like how he followed the plate.
The whole plate.
The whole plate.
The whole plate.
No, this isn't Anthony Anderson, right? This is...
Wait, are you telling me that Quinton Rampage Anderson is not Anthony Anderson in disguise?
Same last name.
You know what I love about this movie? The character's big revelation and development is he realized that Gandhi was also a fighter. Yes. So he shaves and has a mohawk again. like that's what his revelation is. Like, did you know Gandhi fought?
Yes.
Did he? Well, I guess that means it's okay that I could kill people. Because he kills a guy at the end. Now, is that made more clear in the extended cut? Because Bartek, in this movie, he just lifts... I keep forgetting the guy's name. I just want to call him Assassin Guy, Bold Guy. Let's call him Bold
Lynch?
Guy. No, not Lynch. The
Oh, the Pike.
Pike. He lifts Pike, lifts him up, and just casually throws him to the ground. And then it cuts to a shot of him bleeding from the back of the head with his eyes like dead eyes, and then looks back at Mr. T. I keep calling him Mr. T. At BA, and then it's just like this mournful music, and then that's it. It's like, oh, he killed him by just throwing him on the ground, like from above his head down to the ground that's near his feet, and then he dies. It was very weird.
BA survives way more stuff in this movie himself.
I guess if BA throws you, you're dead.
That's
okay.
true.
So that's what happens. That's how Pike dies. He just throws him calmly to the ground.
Because there was some Pity the Fool references early on in the movie.
Yes, because it's Mr. T.
Yeah.
But it's never actually said in the A team.
Yeah, that's what... Okay. When you said that, I was like, okay,
the T in team stands for the T in pity.
I pateem.
I pity the fool.
I pateem me the fool.
I pateem the fool. I love this. Where this is what we just talked about. But like Liam Neeson also knows some fucking Gandhi quotes. It's like, and that just sets him straight. It's like, well, you got me there. I didn't realize that Gandhi fought for things. I only thought he was a peaceful man. But I love how they intercut it with him getting ready to shave the mohawk on. Or off? No, on. Shave his mohawk?
Shave everything.
To form? What's the right way to say this?
Shave
get himself back into character.
Shave a mohawk?
Shave his head to form a mohawk.
It's just so long.
It's got to be formal, Ryan. You gotta submit it to court.
Mr. B.A. Baracus was born without a mohawk. He had to shave the entire head except for the area to form a mohawk.
And the court's like, guilty, but in a good way. Like,
and then you hear the music come in, the A-Team music come in, it's like, he's a soldier of misfortune trying to prove his innocence.
He was born with it, he didn't shave it. Why are the others being chased?
And then Mr. T, can you imagine Mr. T is Bane? And he's like, Batman, you think you were born with the mohawk and you merely adopted it.
Or alternatively, no one cared about him until he got the mohawk.
That's true. That's really true. No one cared about me until I got the mohawk and the gold chains. Adrian!
Yo, woman.
Yo, woman! That's the best. Yo, woman! Adrian! Shut up!
I don't hate Balboa. I pity the fool.
Mr. T did not make a cameo in this movie.
No, he wanted to play Baracus if he had to be in it.
The man who played Face originally said that he regrets making a cameo and that he has never watched the film and does not want to.
Yes.
He's ashamed that it exists.
Really?
Yes.
I'm not.
I'm really disappointed that they didn't actually have Mr. T come back as Baracus as well. Like,
well, that was Mr. T's stipulation. Like, if he was going to be in the film, he wanted to be Baracus, but
because that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
Totally agree.
Do you know what decade the 18 the show was made?
80s.
The 80s.
83, in fact. I think.
Everything was in the. You said that you were born then. Remember, you're the 70s to the 80s.
I was like,
you were there for the Mr. T show.
I was like, yeah.
He's only a few weeks older than
6
me.
months old.
He
was
was
a few weeks older than you. In the 80s.
In the 80s, you know,
we're
too
born, young to remember the 80s.
We were born in the 80s, and he was born in the 70s. I guess that's the trick. You were born in 80. He was born in 79. And there's people listening at home being like, "Fuck! I didn't realize they were full-grown men, like with wives and kids and middle-aged. I thought these guys are like in their 20s. Far out, man! I can't believe I'm listening to like 40-year-olds talk to me.
Yeah,
40-year-olds. Yes.
Well, Liam Neeson's growing a bit, so I guess there's no reason why.
Fun fact: he dyed his hair.
Yeah, well, there's no reason why
he didn't die.
Mr. T couldn't be Baracus in this movie potentially.
He should have been Hannibal. Where he's the new older leader.
Yeah. Well, yeah, why not?
And they're like, I pity the fool who ate Hannibal the Lecter.
We've also heard that Dwight Schultz really liked the performance of our current.
Yes, he did.
Yes. And we also, I don't know if this was on IMDb or another website that I looked at, but the director, the creator of the TV show The A-Team.
Yes, he liked it too.
He really, really liked the movie. He was one of the people that
championed it. Yeah.
Yeah, he said that he wishes that he could have developed some of the characters in the show the way this movie did.
I agree. I mean,
You agreed despite not having seen the show.
I agree. Because, shows in the 80s don't have that level of character development that we have acclimatized to now in TV's landscape. Like certain shows did, like Star Trek in the 60s did, but like mainstream, normal,
It's more about the adventure.
It's more about the week-by-week adventure, and that's about it.
And then a reset, like The Simpsons,
reset
of the status quo.
Everyone's who they were, who they always are. They never change unless someone dies, and then that's it. And then they forget about their death by the end of the episode.
Yep, because they got to move on.
Yeah, the audience doesn't want them to move on. They want more episodes.
They want
doing the same thing.
They want more fireworks.
Exactly, more burning.
They should just wait till New Year's.
Action.
New year, new me. So
that was very good.
That was poetic. That was actually stated in Metal Gear Solid 2 at the end credits. It was like, new year, new me. And then it was like quotations, Liquid Snake. And you're like, what?
My favorite part.
And then it has like an end cut scene of just his arm on the ground twitching, crawling over and grabbing his cigar and lighting it. And then you're like,
Liquid doesn't smoke. At least not that we saw.
Exactly. That's why there's a cut scene. What? It's because he's still got a bit of a personality of Ocelot.
Just to be clear,
he does smoke.
Just to be clear, everyone, when he said cutscene, he's not talking about cinematic cutscene. He's talking about a scene that was actually cut.
Yeah, it was cut.
Because in video games, cutscene means just a scene that you watch.
No,
it's not actually cut.
What? I mean,
cutscene means you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
What do you mean? Cutscenes in video games are the bits where it cuts to the scene and then goes back to the game. Yeah.
Yeah, but like the other definition of it is like you cut out the scene.
Okay.
On movies.
So we're just being clear. We're talking.
You mean literal? Yes.
Yeah, like these scenes were cut.
Yes. CGI.
Big explosion.
Hey, you said Jesus Christ, but is he a good Catholic? I gotta ask that. Hey, we never saw that guy get taken down. Like that Catholic cop.
Good Catholic, yeah. Well,
we see him chasing after the helicopter in the hospital, but he never actually reaches the roof.
He needed to, get away, go to the Vatican for.
As this is happening, it cuts to him and the Pope saying, "It's me, Pope Benedict. I've got to retire and I've got to give it to a cool new guy." And the Mexican guy's like, "I'm actually Argentinian." And they're like, "Oh my God, it's Francis!" And little did we know.
His real name was Francis?
Yeah, real name.
Oh, well, you can just be Francis the Pope.
Yeah, that's what I was assuming, buddy.
But
What is Pope Francis' real name?
Huh?
What's his real name?
I don't remember.
Do you remember any of the Pope's real names?
I remember John Paul II because he's Polish, but it slipped my mind.
It's just Polish for John Paul.
No, it wasn't.
Damn
Oh my God, my family's going to kill me if they listen to this.
This seems crazy.
I'll tell you, they won't.
They will. They'll kill me if they listen to this.
Hey, guys, if you're Bartek's family listening to him being the best Catholic at the moment, you should be very impressed.
I think it was Jan. Can't remember.
Jan.
Jan is the Polish equivalent of John. It's spelled Jan, though, so that's kind of funny.
Jan?
Yeah.
Jan.
Whoa, damn.
That actually was Brad, Cooper.
Really? No,
not Pitt. That would have been weird.
Whoa. This seems actually better than I remember when watching it last night.
Well, that's the thing about this movie. Upon rewatch, everything's bigger and better and more explodier, but in a good way. Michael Bay, you brought up a lot. A lot of people draw a lot of comparisons to this being just another stupid Michael Bay-esque kind of explosion fest. But a lot of diehard fans of this movie, like ourselves, are aware that the thing that makes this stand out above a Michael Bay movie is it is on purpose. It is on purpose schlock. Like, schlock is a good thing. It's not always a bad thing. When you hear the word schlock, some people go, that means shit. No, it can mean that a movie is having fun and is self-aware of the silly nature of its premise and of its world.
Like a popcorn film.
Yeah, exactly. This is a quintessential schlock popcorn film. It has heart, though, and it does have soul. Like, for a good movie, even, like, say, like, you have those movies that are so bad they're good. The best of those and the best of real good movies like this all have a heart to them. Like, what makes a bad movie, in my opinion, a proper bad movie, is one with no heart, no soul, and nothing real to say.
Yeah.
One that's a corporate cash grab, or one that has no real function. This does have a function. This is not just for entertainment, but it does have the message that, like BA goes through of the kind of a spiritual awakening, the idea of a camaraderie ship, and all of that kind of stuff, and family, and identity, and all that kind of stuff. He's dead now.
Yeah, see, Murder's okay.
Murder's okay because he has a mohawk.
Yeah.
And, but like, this is what makes these kind of movies, even like good, bad movies like The Room, has things it wants to say and has a heart to it. It's just it's misguided.
Possibly based on real, not real events, but like something happened in Tommy's life, we reckon.
Yes, but like, all that kind of stuff. And that's why I get disappointed when people say that this is like a Michael Bay thing, because Michael Bay's big criticism, and it is more often than not applicable to him, especially with Transformers movies, they are bad movies with no soul and no heart, and really nothing to say other than commercialism. Like, not all of his career is that way. I think the first Transformers movie, like, even though I haven't seen it, what I get across from most people is that's the best one.
Yeah, I can.
And it's the one where it feels like Michael Bay actually was having fun doing it, and then the rest of them seem like corporate cash.
I remember in year 8, like that's when the film came out, everyone in my class was talking about how much they loved it, and even Michael Bay has said, like, in response to criticism from a bunch of people, that like he makes films for young boys,
teenage
basically.
boys. Yeah,
nothing gay about that. I mean, not all of his films are, of course, bad. I mean, some of them do have some interesting things to say, even if they are misguided, like Pain and Gain, based on a true story. Very interesting story. He just does it in his way, which is good or bad.
I remember I wanted to see that film, but then a bunch of my friends were like, no, it's Michael Bay. Let's not watch it.
Yeah, let's be hacks.
I like.
Were you one of those people, Stefan?
No, I think I have a copy of it. No.
Whoa! Hold on! I need to get the extended cut of reality and let's see what actually happened.
I don't know if he was, but
He was, but then Bartek demanded a urine test by the hour to find out if it was the real Stefan or doppelganger Stefan.
Possibly at the time, but I've heard that the reviews for that movie are quite good at Pain and Gain, so I would see it.
That's why I wanted to see it, because I heard good reviews.
Yeah. You're the guy that tells me that not to listen to reviews. You're the one guy that.
Yeah, but if there's a good review, you're just gonna ignore it and say no, they might be wrong.
They might be.
It does sound kind of hypocritical when you put it that way.
It is hypocritical.
But I do mainly believe.
Bartek, you've talked on this show before about how sometimes when we do read reviews from IMDb, some comments from YouTube, the thing about wanting to like a movie based on your own merits and experience of watching the movie and being influenced by outside perspectives of ones that you either respect or don't is a very tricky line to walk. I think it works when we read the reviews because we've already talked about the movie. You guys are listening to us and our opinion of the movies. I don't think we are necessarily reviewers, but we are still critiquing the film and what the message is being about, obviously.
We're just giving commentary. We're just talking about it.
Yeah, we're just talking about like this great Liam Neeson fight scene. Oh, Patrick Wilson thought he knew some kung fu, but guess who knows kung fu? Liam Neeson.
Like, Ryan, though, real talk, we got to rename the thing we do at the end of episodes where we give reviews to something else before they start using that against us.
Okay, we'll call it comments.
Yeah, comments. Long comments.
And then when it comes to that bit in the show, I'm like, okay, the reviews now. And you're like, God damn it, Ryan, we said comments. And I'm like, that was the extended cut of this episode. Oh. You can download that at whatever CD site, Bartek. What's the extended cut of this?
Truly, the extended cut is the CD thing.
Yeah, the CD thing is the extended cut, where they show Brad Cooper's dick. Like, he just flops.
I didn't see no dick.
Like, that scene there where he's, like, moving the cups? When he opens it, it's just his erect cock. And they're like, ha ha ha, very funny. And he's like, it's really hard for me to do this. And they're like, ha ha ha.
That's in the extended cut.
That's in the circumcision cut.
The only dick I remember seeing for doing this show was in Wolf Creek 2.
No.
I feel like there might have been one more, but I don't remember.
We did it. We saw Dick in Sorority Boys.
Did we? We saw suds over in a dick shape.
An erect dick. We saw titties. That was the first time we saw titties.
We've seen.
We saw Dick in Wolf Creek 2. That's true.
It was cut off, to be fair, but
so it was the C stick.
Thanks that you can remember that.
Yeah, a dead dick. So,
she's arresting him and being like, we need to test his urine by the hour, boys. I love this. He's been shot in the head and now is sane. Because that's how it works. All mentally ill people should be shot in the head. I was going to say something after that, but I thought that statement was pretty brave and didn't need any more.
Because I thought he was always, like, pretty nuts, man. So now he's going to go crazier.
No, he's sane now.
But
now he feels sane.
Can you really trust a person who says it bluntly, I feel sane?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, it means that they feel sane.
I feel sane, Ryan.
I feel sane?
I feel sane.
I feel sane.
You're making it a question.
Now say it as Ryan 1. Good Ryan.
I feel sane?
That was really good, actually.
Was it?
It was different to your impersonation earlier in the episode.
Yeah, that's why I was confused for a second.
It sounded a bit more like how I said it just a moment ago. So you nailed that. That was it. Bartek leaning towards an actual impersonation.
Okay,
that was completely off, Bartek. Completely off.
Why did I do that?
Like little bloody kids came in, ruined all these toys.
That's the funniest thing all episode.
No, the pee conversations were pretty decent.
I don't know, I like that pretty much.
That Stefan just thought about this as a movie where kids ruin something,
Yeah.
It did, but
it's like toys.
But yeah, as soon as he said that, I immediately started thinking of Legos spilled all over the floor.
Basically.
Man, it's so hard being a kid trying to make a movie. Here's Kid Rock. Here's John Hamm in his first ever movie role. I'm kidding. It's not. He already did.
It's John Pork.
No. If you want to be friendly to the Jews that we talked about that are free right now, he's John Kosher.
John Bacon.
Hey, is he related to Kevin Bacon in any way?
No.
John Hamm?
No. Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, there's 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, yeah.
I've heard.
Yeah? Yeah, you know that?
I've heard.
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 Did you know that
Lego.
his wife's his distant cousin?
Cool.
Yeah, so the degree of Kevin Bacon was real fucking close. That's a fact. That's a rock fact. Not a fact about the rock. It's a fact that just rocks.
The Rock.
He should have... Did you know he was up for the possibility of being B.A. Baracus? The Rock?
He'd be a
Dwayne
good
Johnson? But he chose to do G.I. Joe instead.
I believe in that same trivia point they mentioned Mel Gibson
As Hannibal?
as Hannibal. Was it?
At one point...
That'd be okay.
At one point...
Was Willem Dafoe mentioned?
No.
I'm thinking
At one
something
point,
else.
Jim Carrey was up for the
That's
role of
it.
Murdoch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jim Carrey.
Yeah, Jim Carrey.
Wow.
And I think they said George Clooney for face.
Yeah, he would be good as a face. Just did a jar. Oh my god! How did they not do this movie with John Travolta and Nicolas Cage interchanging as face? He's just like, "Hey, face," and he's like, "I gotta take my face off." And then they're like, "Good one, John Travolta." It's like, "No, it's Nicolas Cage." And he's like, "Oh, I can't tell. They look so alike."
Oh my god.
Yeah, no,
There's
this.
another Lynch at the end of the movie. What a plot twist.
Yeah, it's almost as good as that game Kane and Lynch.
So that's
Never seen it.
what-
Oh, wait, I'm sorry, I never played it. It's a game. Kane and Lynch. Weird.
It's terrible.
It's terrible.
I've
By
heard,
Rockstar, I think.
I don't think
Why
it
disappoint me?
is.
Kane and Lynch.
Might be. I haven't played them, but I don't know if they're.
You haven't played them?
There are two.
Oh, fuck, I didn't know that.
I've heard the second one's even worse.
Yeah, I think Yahtzee reviewed it as one of his least favorite games of all time.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say.
You were going to say
Lynch.
just
We'll talk about Lynch.
the pin. He has a Lynch pin in his mouth.
No. How Stefan said there was another Lynch. Like, that's kind of what I was saying earlier. Like, is that a thing in, like, the show? There are all CIA agents called Lynch?
Well, I guess we have to watch.
Alright, let's watch.
Well, guys, thanks for joining us. We're now going to watch the A-Team, the show.
The whole thing.
Every episode, back to back. Stefan has the other places to go, but he's going to stay here.
Yeah, Stefan's dressed nicely. For the A-Team!
For the A-Team, absolutely.
Why are you dressed so nicely?
Went out last night and
Just,
slept
you
over
went
at
out and you watched the A-Team and then you rocked up here to rewatch it.
yeah, well, slept at my girlfriend's house and now I'm here.
Oh, you went to her house to watch the A-Team. She's like, I am the A-Team. And then you watched her do a one-woman production
Your
of this
girlfriend's
film.
does begin with an A, right?
It does.
Yeah.
A-Team?
Yeah,
That's her
she is
name?
A-Team.
Whoa!
That's
my-
a good way to end.
Oh, wait,
movie.
the narrator's still telling us that they're soldiers of fortune. But what else? If you have a problem. I do
have a problem.
If no one else can help, no one
Ryan's
can
not
help.
helping.
I haven't tried everyone.
And if you can find them,
There they are.
and maybe you can hire them, the A-Team.
The A-Team.
Urine in
The
pools.
A-minus
Everyone's
team.
The urine in pools.
So 2 scenes that I saw in the extended cut are going to appear at the end of these credits? Or
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
They're going to appear randomly.
Yeah, and I haven't seen this, so going in blind. Oh my god.
Ingenious.
I thought that said indigenous.
I almost said
Yeah, I thought
indigenous.
so too.
I was like,
I stopped myself.
well, the Australian indigenous population, populace.
Quinton Rampage.
Chop Shop J.
Jessica Biel has higher billing than half of the A-Team.
Well, it's because she was in I'll Be Home for Christmas.
Yes.
She had to travel all the way with Eddie. That's a pretty big deal. So I think you get top billings. German Doctor number 1,
Yeah.
Dwight Schultz.
Pike Goon.
Sorry, John Johnson is in this movie.
Oh man, John Johnson.
Soccer.
So the movie has ended, unfortunately.
I thought you said Socrates.
Socrates.
Socrates. The movie has ended, and it's very unfortunate. But we have things to say further about the film. We're going to each go into our own personal reviews. Comments and ratings of our choice. I'm going to go straight off the bat. This movie is beautiful. It actually is very nice to look at. The color scheme of the movie does reflect like the eyes into that of the blue, but not in a grotesque kind of fashion like recent movies such as, your DC movies where they have that weird blue tint that kind of oversaturates certain elements of the frame. This film is colorful, but without being overtly colorful. That's the thing that I think that this movie needs to be praised for, especially in this landscape of movies of action varieties. Like the Expendable movies look physically terrible when you look at the frame because of the saturation and the tinting. But this movie, you see things, you see the beautiful European countryside. That scene where the tank drops into the lake was really nice. The tinting of blue with the fog and all that, it looked gorgeous. This film is gorgeous to look at, but it's also gorgeous to actually watch the story unfold. The twists and turns and the stuff that happens in this movie is beautiful. Even if you haven't seen the A-Team like myself, you have an understanding of what the A-Team's about in this film. And that's the beauty of doing a reimagining or a reinterpretation of something. Because here's something that we haven't mentioned, and I'm going to mention this now. This is an 80s, let's be honest, based on an 80s cop show. It's a cop-esque show. Like, they're basically police.
It's got that military
section, but with the military,
of people.
Yeah. This could be easily lumped into what was the remake of the Starsky and Hutch movie, in which it could have easily have been a comedic redoing, which was very popular during this time. That maybe have tailed off by then, and then 21 Jump Street happened a few years after this, and then rebrought that. But this movie needs to be credited on the fact that it didn't do what 21 Jump Street and the Starsky and Hutch movie did, which was, this is a redoing of something, but it's doing it seriously, but with elements of humor and fun, without it being a comedic redoing of the original property, which is very hard to do because it's kind of a silly premise and a silly show where you think of Mr. T, and it's kind of like, you look at it, it could be goofy, but this movie takes it with the right amount of earnest in it, the right amount of Liam Neeson saying the word plan and everything, but with the right amount of, silly, goofy action. And I must say this, the action sequences are not only fun, you can follow them, but they're smart. They do smart things, whether it is smart things within a serious action moment or adding or infusing it with a comedic tone to it, such as the tank being launched across by shooting. You mentioned that you can do that in the game. It was really smart to see that in the movie. Like, that was actually a smart move, and it led to a good comedic punchline in that. But they have that several times throughout the movie, like at the end when Bradley Cooper's plan comes to fruition, where he's doing using the tankers like he was the cops and all that. That was really smart. That was actually like a fun thing to see. If I had to give this movie a rating, I would give this movie a really, really nice little rating of smarter than you think, out of misinterpreting it for being dumb. Yeah, I think that really, we didn't talk about that much in the episode, that this is actually a lot smarter. It's that level of, the guys from South Park come across as dumb, but it's like a smart dumb. Yeah. This is smart dumb. Like it looks like it's dumb, but it's actually pretty smart. Like, it takes a lot of intelligence to come across as a bit goofy.
Yeah.
Something dumb that looks dumb, but it's smartly made.
We were making a lot of good Catholic jokes earlier, but I think another adjective that works for that and this film is faithful.
Did you know at the end of the credits, BA yells "Yeah!" out of nowhere because he did.
No, I did.
I watched that.
I looked at the subtitles.
Yeah,
just now.
I saw the subtitles, but I was going to bring that up. I was like, oh yeah, he says "Yeah" for no reason.
And that's your rating.
That's my rating. Yeah. Bartek, let's hear from you. If you want.
If I want, I don't want.
Okay, Stefan.
This film was definitely one I had a lot of feelings for, which is kind of redundant to say because I feel that about all unappreciated masterpieces. got to remember that this was in the scene that we're seeing right now in the theatrical version was just in the extended cut seamlessly.
Keep talking. Brave soul.
Did you say that this is one of the
actors? Yeah, that's the original face.
Okay, I see.
And he's like, haha, I'm with new face. And he's like, yeah, that's old face. And then...
and it just cuts straight to here then.
For no reason, and then the film ends.
Yeah,
And that one's Dwight Schultz,
Yeah. These two scenes were just in the extended cut then.
Yep, that's right. And then the film ends. So you were saying?
I felt a lot of things for this film. Like I said, I did see... Well, like I discovered in halfway through the episode, I did see the extended cut. And it did feel a little long. But it was the kind of long where... you think back on it, not that you were suffering, but that you really appreciate... What?
I'm thinking penis while you're saying this, and as soon as I thought, like, I wanted to lean in and be like, it's long, but not the kind of bad long. I'm like my penis, and then you're like, but you're not suffering from it, and I'm like, yep, like my penis.
You're not suffering from
I don't know why Stefan was laughing, because when I said penis, he looked at me like, I wasn't thinking that.
I was thinking, like, suffering. I was just like, that's really strong language. Like, you were actually suffering during the movie. Like, oh my god, this movie's so bad. Oh my god, I just want to end. Which I have.
So the part where I said you're not suffering...
He thought of you were suffering. He's like, I love thinking...
just
whenever he hears you say the word suffering, he thinks of you suffering. And he's like, yeah, that's it. I want to see Bartek be like, oh god.
No, it's more like the concept of actually suffering through a movie. But yes, please continue about it.
To continue that sentence, it's not the kind of long where you're suffering like a penis, but it's the kind of long where you think back and you really appreciate that you got more time with the film.
Uh-huh.
In fact, it's not suffering, it's enjoying one's company, which is a good thing. This film is smart, like Ryan said. It's funny. It has lots of good action. Some people might think it has too much action and that it becomes an incomprehensible mess, Mr. Ebert. Others may see this film as being fantastic, which they do. I've got YouTube comments that attest to that notion. YouTube comments that some of them were begging for a sequel. This is a film with plenty of heart, plenty of good acting, to even just bring it back to a base thing about what a film is. It's a thing that has acting as one element, and this film, the acting, on point, on another point that you didn't even know, it was just fantastic in all respects. This is a film that needs to be seen, not just as a billboard at the corner of Swanson Street and Flinders Street, but in a cinema, on a TV, anywhere you can, see this film, see either cut. They're both fine. Ryan and Stefan like the theatrical, I like the extended. Either one's fine.
I want to watch the extended because there's a great pee scene.
I mean, you've read the lines of the scene. Right?
I need to see the scene.
There should be a second there should be a re-extended scene.
A director's cut.
It's like, well, you need to check his pee hourly, and then the next scene is, alright, let's the first cycle of checking his pee hourly.
The movie goes for 4 hours, and each hour you come back to him checking his pee, and he's like, yep, he's still human. Like, I don't know why we're doing this, and then you see Jessica Biel on like Skype call being like,
have you checked his pee, by the way?
Have you checked his pee?
I give this film hourly doses of love, but converted into pee.
That's beautiful, man.
That is beautiful.
That's like Shakespeare.
That's better than Shakespeare.
Who's Shakespeare? Stefan, tell us who Shakespeare is.
Shakespeare is some wanker from a different time. He wrote really incomprehensible material that I had to study and suffer through school. So unlike you, Bartek, I was suffering through Shakespeare. I was.
You weren't appreciating the time that you got to spend with it?
No, not really. But anyway, I guess if I get... Do I get to do my review?
Yeah.
This is what we're waiting for.
Nah. Fuck him.
Your comments.
My review time. Okay, I think The A-Team is a fantastic movie that needs to be taught in schools. In fact, why not start with kindergarten? Teach it in kindergarten. Teach it to preschoolers about how to make a great movie. And... because the A Team, both of you guys would have said, the acting was amazing. I thought all the casts were really good, and like you said, the creator loves it too, and I thought all the action scenes were great, even though the one at the end, as I know, it looked like kids just walk into a thing and just breaking stuff.
Well, that was an aftermath thing.
Yeah, that was an aftermath thing, but it was still great. And there was lots of dirt and sand, like I said. And
I thought you said lots of dirt and sad, and I'm like, that's sad. That is sad.
No, it definitely wasn't sad. It made me happy. It was a good movie, and lots of good looking ladies too. So
yeah, B.A. Baracus did look pretty hot.
Yes, he absolutely did. And even though he got shot multiple times, he still didn't lose any energy, Baracus. So
because he had Gandhi.
Yeah, he had Gandhi.
He knew a Gandhi quote.
Yeah, and it was great character development where he reads a book about being at peace, then he becomes a Buddhist, and then he abandons his principles. Because
Liam Neeson brought up the fact that Gandhi could fight.
Exactly. So there is complete character 180 in this. And you probably wouldn't see that in the original A-Team series, which I haven't seen, but I'm going to assume that that's correct. So overall, I give the A-Team an A out of the alphabet. An A.
That's 1.
And what do you give Shakespeare?
Shakespeare? No. I don't even think he uses words, Shakespeare, so...
He's more of a numbers guy.
Yeah, he's a numbers guy, so he doesn't get a number. He gets nothing.
I think, Stefan, in the Prince of Persia review, you gave it some ludicrous number, but then when I actually checked the numbers later, it was kind of a low score.
Well, guys,
it was like 2 billion out of 6
Some
billion.
people on IMDb had some high and low score reviews to give this movie. I'm going to give us a nice, decent 7-star review from IMDb. Bartek's going to read some comments that he found on the trailer. Yeah?
Yep.
On YouTube.
Trailer.
So I have a 7-star review now. All of these reviews, they're pretty analytical. They're gonna echo a lot of the things we said here in this episode, and that's fine because these are real people online who gave their opinions when the movie came out or afterwards. So we have a review here that's 7 stars from 2010. It's called Overblown, Super Exaggerated Trash. And I loved every minute.
Yeah.
Yay!
Now, this review contains spoilers, everyone. So, just in case you wanted to know.
Spoilers for the extended cut?
I don't know. We have to find out. I was quite a fan of the A-Team when I was a wee lad, thanks mostly to cable TV reruns, and I was eagerly anticipating this movie from the moment I saw the first episode. At no time did I think it wouldn't happen. Of course, as the years passed, I grew older and wiser. I came to realize that an A-Team movie might just be a really bad idea. I mean, come on, an ex-army unit that never kills anyone? That uses ridiculous plans that frequently broke the laws of logic and physics? Yeah, right. Fortunately, when this film was announced, was in all caps, for emphasis, I couldn't help but feel a little excited, especially when that cast came forward and the first trailer had me revved up and nervous. Could so easily be trash. Well, it is trash. Trash of the most glorious, overblown, wonderfully fun kind. Tongue planted firmly in cheek. And with utter acknowledgement of the fact that the most it can aspire to is a fun night out. The cinematic equivalent to a Big Mac. Ridiculously bad for you, and a part of you wishes you hadn't, but you still enjoyed the hell out of it anyway. The cast work well together and have a pretty good team dynamic. Liam Neeson brings the right combo of gruffness and cool to Hannibal, though a little more humorless than the original. And Bradley Cooper is, well, Bradley Cooper, wisecracking and entertaining as a conman face. Though many have spoken ill of Quinton Rampage Jackson as B.A., I thought he was capable enough in a role that required little more of him than snarling, watered-down catchphrases. Of the foursome, the easy standout is Sharlto Copley, as jittery, crazy-eyed Murdoch, who manages to steal the scene whenever the camera lingers on him for more than 3 seconds. If District 9 marked him as a bright new talent, hopefully this film should make him a star. Jessica Biel as a conflicted agent and faces X. Sosa. And Patrick Wilson as smug CIA man, Lynch, offer some fine support, but really this film is all about the action, and the action, which is served up with a trowel. Most of it is wonderfully overblown, but in that great, that was cool way that was prevalent in the 80s, though the level of exaggeration which the climax reaches does start to stretch even the most resilient switch-off action fan. All in all, my best advice is sit back, switch off, and enjoy the ride. It may not be the A-Team you remember, but it's a hell of a lot it's a hell of a lot of brainless fun nonetheless. And we really haven't had that for a while. Yeah. Bartek, what did YouTube have to offer us? I imagine lots of people had nice things to say.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah. Everyone fucking loves the A-Team, Stefan.
I do.
Beep, beep.
Some of the more negative ones, which I didn't really grab, were like complaining about how Baraka said the word homie, because that's not what, Mr. T would have said. Things like that, but I didn't really include any of them.
Homie!
One that I did include was all caps and 3 exclamation marks at the end of this first sentence, gentlemen. That was one awesome epic movie! Though my mom ruined it for calling in the cell in the best part, P.
That's upsetting for him.
Yes.
More upsetting because his mum was calling about the fact that she had cancer, so that was really awkward.
And that did ruin the film for him.
It was like ruined it.
Comment number 2. LOL! And then he quotes, if you look out to the right side of the aircraft, you'll notice the right wing is on fire. I love sarcasm! Best humour!
Oh, I'm glad somebody likes sarcasm.
Someone just discovered what it was and was like, I love this.
This one is a lot more negative.
Oh man, I don't like negativity.
Anybody who actually wants to see this movie must be a 40-something-year-old fucking queer who lives in his mother's basement. If you used to actually watch this rubbish, you must have been a nerdy-ass little kid that would get his ass pounded for being gay. Why don't you old fags grow up and get lives and stop trying to dream like you can live the 80s over? There's no hot tub time machine for you.
Wow, that was
Mr. T, calm down. I get it, you weren't in the movie, but calm down.
And one more before we go to you, Ryan. It's a short one. And it's
I'll allow it, yeah.
It's the truth that we all know.
I love truth.
Holy shit! You must be really desperate to be in a falling tank. Winky, capital D.
That's nice. Did you know, Face, you have nothing to worry about is the title of this next review? And it's 8 stars. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Well, you're getting it because this is an 8-star review called Face.
And it looks like a very long paragraph.
It's just one.
Yeah.
There was an actual review called, here's my 2,000 word review. And it went for 2,000 words.
It's like an undergraduate assignment.
I remember first hearing about this. Cautious optimism was among my immediate reactions. Later, I caught a trailer. On that, do not think for a second that you saw all the good stuff. There's plenty they didn't give away. I was still not sure what to think. Then, I watched it last night. I enjoyed every single frame. No, I'm not kidding. This works from the very start and never loses you. I love the show. And this pays a lot of respect to it. At times, a tad much. Early on, Neeson's every other line contains the word plan. And this not only nails the 4 characters, who all get an unforgettable introduction each and several individual heroic moments. It doesn't merely mimic, but builds and slightly reinterprets to update the characters. They are played rather well. Liam looks like he was born with that cigar in his mouth. He was born with that, Bartek. Bradley genuinely is charming and suave. Sharlto from District 9, he reverts to his dialect here and there, but that's okay. Comes across as a lunatic without that making us dislike him. And Jackson, well, he looks cool. He's not asked to do anything he can't handle, and he's certainly got more charisma than any other wrestlers on the silver screen. Or Vin Diesel. The acting is, in general, marvelous, and every role is well cast. Everybody is a badass in this one, on/off at least. And that does get old every now and then. Biel is largely eye candy, as is all other females in this, though we know that she can do this kind of thing, as she doesn't let us down. The dialogue wants to be as clever and full of banter as 2008's Iron Man, and this leads to it trying too hard some. But with that said, 2/3 of it works perfectly, and it's not a complete buzzkill when it doesn't. It is hilarious a lot of the time, and the half-full theater I was in clearly got a kick out of it. This is 2 hours of pure fun with non-stop awesome action that doesn't repeat itself, with shootout chases and fights. It's not realistic, and it's not meant to be. The plans are, they put this in asterisks, brilliant. And seeing them gather materials for them is a blast. This keeps to an immensely fast pace without overwhelming us, and it fits in plenty of well thought out plot that doesn't confuse in spite of twists and such that hold up. The script is by the guy who did Wolverine, Swordfish, and Hitman, and a rookie. However, maybe because of the help from the director, who I've only seen one other thing from by his outstanding The Hire short. I don't know, man. I haven't seen.
What did you mean by he did Wolverine?
The writer.
But like
the film, The Wolverine.
Like the one released in Japan?
Yeah.
Was that out at this point? 2010?
Yeah.
You sure?
He says Wolverine.
Not Origin?
He says Wolverine.
Okay.
They turn in something magnificent. FX are plentiful, occasionally overshadowing the people. Be careful. Like, he just writes, be careful. After that, like, be careful. And excellent with a few brief poor points. But the editing is tight. Cinematography, stylish. While it's black and white, switch off your brain at the door. Hollywood popcorn flick. It doesn't claim or attempt to be anything else, and it's utterly well-made and rewatchable one at that. There is a little strong language and brutality to the violence in this. No blood, though. I recommend this to fans of the television series who don't have impossible to reach expectations, and everyone who can get into a movie that just entertains you for a solid 120 minutes should see it. 8 out of 10. That's what they had to say, Bartek.
Reasonable.
Yeah, I still don't think Wolverine was 2010, but
maybe it was.
Maybe. I could have sworn it was a few years ago, because I actually saw that one.
It was when we were in high school.
Okay.
We were in high school.
Maybe I'm wrong.
2011, maybe? Because the newest Wolverine came out this year, and they always, went long gaps between Wolverine movies.
I'm curious. Anyway, the next comment...
Curiosity killed Bartek.
Not me, I'm immune to it.
Immune? You wouldn't say invincible, but then you forgot halfway through and said immune.
No.
I'm invisible immune.
I realized that I am not invincible, but I happen to be immune to that.
To
I'm being accurate, Ryan. I
thought you guys said I'm a good Catholic.
Yeah.
I'm like, good on you.
I'm a decent Catholic, but I'm a good immunity.
You're not good. You don't even know John Paul's real name.
I know how to pronounce it when we see it. Sometimes these reworkings of original TV shows work when attempted as big screen flicks 20 years later. Sometimes not! The weekly plots and the underlying premise of this entire original TV series were paper thin at best. And so, sorry to say, I don't think this sleazy opportunistic rework of the 1980s TV show isn't gonna cut it. Oh, he used double negative. That means he thought it did cut it.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha there, mate.
He failed there, guys.
Maybe he meant it on purpose.
He was trying to trick us.
And you got tricked, Bartek. Apologise to them.
This guy's intelligent.
You're not immune
you
to
are intelligent. Sir.
You're not immune to a bit of trickery there. So.
Actually, it's a double-edged sword. You're either intelligent or dumb.
Bartek's weakness is trickery.
It's trickery, absolutely, man.
Don't trick me.
He can resist anything but temptation.
This next one is, a call for opinion, or like,
I thought you were going to say a call for help. Oh no.
No opinion. Anyone else think 50 should have been BA? Was he even considered?
50?
I think he's talking about 50 cents.
Yes, he should have. That would have made this a 10-star movie if 50 Cent showed up in this, and the villain was Nelly. Like yes, he would have been great. He would have been perfect.
You hear that, commenter? The person that you were hoping for was Ryan. Also known as Ryan 2, apparently.
It's a bad one.
Next comment. I love this film. I watch it in all ways, enjoy it. Funny, great action, and the best cast this film has it all spot on. It was a shame it was a flop at the box office, but only because it came out at the time of the World Cup final. Exclamation mark. I hope they, with an A instead of an E, I hope they don't do a remake in time with a new cast. I hope there will be a sequel in this film with this cast, and if there is a online petition to sign to make a sequel happen, then I wan to sign it. This cast, this film is the best.
Well,
I'm sorry, that word film should have been plural. Films is the best.
Well, Bartek, you got it fucking wrong, but this guy got it fucking right.
Yeah.
This guy's got a 7-star review called A+ Team.
Because the title's like A-.
I made an A- joke, but I never made an A+ joke. This guy's smarter than me.
This guy's from New Zealand too, so could it be Barnaby Joyce?
Put on your accent, Ryan.
Rightio. So, being a fan of the 80s television series as a child, naturally I was pretty excited 3 or 4 years ago when I heard about a possible A-Team feature film. Back then, I believe the rumored cast included Bruce Willis and possibly Jim Carrey? They put 4 question marks after him. The years went by until about a year ago. Literally 2 years went by till last year. A few years went by until a year ago. I saw a picture of the current A-Team cast in Empire magazine. What? No Mr. T? Outrage! I was disappointed in the least, and my eagerness and enthusiasm for an updated version of a beloved classic jumped out the window and died. Then, 2010 rolls spelt with the E, of course, rolls upon us, and the trailers for the film hit the internet and cinemas, but still, it didn't grab me. It looked tacky, unoriginal. Well, it's Hollywood and a remake, so it still kind of is unoriginal. With totally over-the-top, overblown Michael Bay-style action sequences and not a single trace of any wit or plot visible. Sad face. Yeah, this is sad, Bartek. If it was not for my dad, also an avid fan of the show, offering to pay for me, I probably would not have bothered seeing the film. Well, not at the cinemas anyway. We watched the film last night, and I have to say it was definitely better than I was expecting. It was actually and surprisingly very good. I was fearing all my fond memories of my favorite characters such as B.A. Baracus and Mad Murdoch would be spat on and watered down into ironic, cliche versions of what they were originally. I was treated to a clever and accurate modernization of one of the best TV shows of the 1980s. That's good, Bartek. He's very happy. The main concept...
Is there a smiley face, though?
No. He just had an exclamation mark, so he was aggressively happy. The main concept for the A-Team to work is all about the successful interpretation of the characters. If the characters aren't right, the film will fall flat and will only be branded as A-Team by name alone. Nothing more than a cash-in on the name. Fortunately, the characters, although played by different actors, state that, are successfully updated and portrayed and still somehow feel the same as the originals, with the humour and witty dialogue still in there in spades. The cast did a fine job in their respective roles, especially South African actor as Howling Mad Murdoch. He was hilarious and out of all the cast resembled his 80s counterpart most accurately in his appearance. Quinton Jackson, although not quite Mr. T, still managed to portray a decent portrayal of B.A. And although I don't recall him saying his famous catchphrase more than once in this film, he made up for it with his witty tattoos. I thoroughly enjoyed the backstory to his fear of flying. Do we remember that backstory, boys?
No, I don't. Nah. Also, what's his catchphrase?
Pity the fool.
But that's not...
But he's talking about Mr. T.
Oh,
but he hasn't said that. Clearly, he's saying he said BA in that sentence, but he's talking about Mr. T's catchphrase.
Oh, I thought BA had a catchphrase in the TV show. That's how I interpreted it.
And he means tattoos, pity fool.
Oh, okay.
The action scenes, as obvious from the trailers, are pretty big and impressive, which is normal by today's standards. Lots of explosions, guns, fistfights, and airplane chases are plenty fill the plot. Yes, there is actually a plot. Yeah. None of the action sequences are drawn out too long, and although some of the scenes suffer a bit from a little too much CGI, shaky cam, and quick cuts, making visibility difficult and a bit muddled, it still doesn't take away from the film's overall entertainment value. The plot is not overly complicated, but it is there, and it is not completely dumbed down and insulting to the viewer's intellect. A perfect balance of action, story, and humor make A-Team a brilliant and successful update film adaptation that successfully brings the A-Team into the new millennium, yet doesn't tread over the original. Thankfully, the best parts aren't shown in the trailer, and the film is most deserving of at least one more sequel. I pity the fool who doesn't enjoy this film.
Oh, it's Mr. T's review.
What
did YouTube have to say, Bartek?
My last 3 comments.
Give me the fools. I pity them.
Ryan, the last one that I'm going to read is not a fool. But before I get to that, this movie starts as one of the most stupid and bad movies ever made. But after a few minutes, it gets very good. The guy who played B.A. did a good job.
Good for him.
I like how he made the point of one of the most bad movies. He's already decided.
But after a few minutes, it picked up.
Yeah.
The opening credits were pretty bad.
The second last comment, and I'm sure plenty of people can relate to this one.
I will.
You've heard it here, folks. Ryan already said that he relates to this one.
I will.
Get the tissues ready, everyone.
Semen's involved.
I saw this movie on satellite yesterday, and I can't stop thinking about it.
That's right.
There is a scene early on where Jessica Biel, only one S, is admonished by her superiors, and she is demoted to a captain, in brackets, I think.
They weren't too sure.
She's wearing an army uniform, in brackets, a skirt and a jacket. She looked wonderful, and my penis hardened a bit. But a little later on, Jessica, now spelled properly, Jessica is in a movie theater in Germany and watching it through 3D glasses, and the A-Team crashes through the screen. She's wearing a black leather overcoat. Ooh la la, I just had to masturbate. This is Ryan. He said so.
God damn it, Ryan number 1. I thought you were the good one.
No, that was Ryan number 2.
Damn you.
You said so. And the last one.
No, her name isn't said so. It's Susso.
The last comment is the one that I mentioned earlier. This one is not a fool. This one's a smart person.
They didn't masturbate, did they?
They didn't masturbate. No, Ryan, they didn't.
Yep.
Right, and it's a very short one. It's a single sentence.
I'm ready for this.
As soon as I heard, quote, This court is rendering guilty verdicts. They misspelled that. I didn't notice that, actually. Verdicts for this alpha team, end quote. I knew it was the A team, and I'm 15.
Well, previously on my reviews that I found from IMDb, the previous review ended with, I pity the fool who doesn't enjoy this film. The current review that I'm going to read you now is 10 stars called, pity the fool who doesn't enjoy this film.
Oh, is this a response?
From 2012. Yeah, get ready, guys, because this is going to be an emotional one. And yes, they are by two different people. Just want to make sure. When I heard that they were making a movie of the A-Team, I fully expected a Thanksgiving-sized turkey. I was never a massive fan of the TV series, which, despite the running theme of good guys versus the government, always felt like a smug popular culture expression of Ronald Reagan's politics, or Reaganics. Brilliant. Just because you can remember the catchphrases doesn't mean it was any good. The TV show was formulaic, down to having exactly the same stunt. A car spinning over sideways in every episode. Original. Why? This is a 10-star review, by the way. Why bother making a film of it? Since there have already been a few enjoyable remakes of old American TV shows, only the Ben Stiller / Owen Wilson parody of Starsky and Hutch springs to mind for some reason. The Omens were not good for this film. The film version of the A-Team is not merely over the top, it's in a gestationary orbit 22,000 miles above the over the top.
Okay.
Ridiculous does not even begin to describe it. There's the way Hannibal Smith, Liam Neeson, having been beaten half to death by crooked Mexican cops, avoids being shot with his own gun by forward thinking of taking the firing pin out, then uses said firing pin to free himself from his handcuffs, which he then puts on two nasty, bad-looking dogs. Sent to finish him off, and then he says, I love it when a plan comes together. Oh boy. Then there's the way Smith randomly chances upon another former US Army Ranger B.A. Baracus, played by the cage fighter star Quinton Rampage Jackson, who has just had to beat up an entire gang of Mexican smugglers to get his beloved van back in the middle of a Mexican desert. The two of them go off to rescue Smith's partner, Faceman, Bradley Cooper, crashing into the gang's camp just as Face is about to be burned alive. Although, to his credit, he's still laughing and joking about it all, naturally, of course. That's classic Faceman. The crew then dash off to a local mental asylum where they are told that the best pilot and the biggest lunatic ever, Captain HM, the HM stands for Howling Mad Murdoch. That's what the HM stands for, Bartek. Howling Mad Murdoch.
Yeah, that was his nickname in the show.
Did you know that?
Yeah.
Well, he can be found in that asylum. Having sprung Murdoch, the four make their escape in a hospital chopper, which is then chased by the nutty Mexicans.
Those nutty Mexicans.
In a helicopter gunship. Having used a variety of ludicrous means to evade the gunship's missiles, including stalling the chopper to avoid heat seekers, the fearless four cross into the US airspace where, luckily, a jet fighter is conveniently ready to shoot down the Mexicans. None of these are spoilers, by the way. All of these things happen before the opening titles.
It happens during the opening titles.
He says before, Bartek.
Okay.
That's a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
The A-Team is like Hollywood action movie lasagna. Mm-hmm. It's a layer of cliche, followed by a layer of implausibility, followed by another layer of cliche. And so on. With the whole lot finished off with a sickly rich layer of computer-generated effects. There's one spectacle set piece after another. If anything, the A-Team just tries too damned hard to blow us away, to the point where the possibility that anything that is displayed on screen could actually happen becomes inconceivable. While They were blowing all that money on CG. They clearly didn't bother spending much on makeup. Liam Neeson's grey hair looks like it was done by the people responsible for the before shots on those Just for Men adverts. That tasty 2012 reference. Mwah. In other words, it's every bit as implausible as the rest of the film. And this is a 10-star review.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
And just when the implausibility ratings couldn't get any higher, the woman pursuing our friendly rogues, far from looking like the freak from Prisoner Cell Block H, as you might expect a ball-breaking military chick to look, wears heels, a sleek black leather coat, and looks like Jessica Biel.
Is this the masturbator guy?
Oh, hang on. It is Jessica Biel. They just realised they made a new paragraph for that one. And yet, watching half an hour of this utter nonsense, I noticed something else. I hadn't stopped smiling. As one high-octane, tongue-in-cheek instant followed another, I found myself muttering, "No way!" as frequently as B.A. Baracus was grunting, "This is bullshit, man." In other words, a lot. Because the truth is that the A-Team is fun. Just leave your reality check at the door. Not that action movies should ever try to be kitchen sink dramas. In fact, this is... What? They shouldn't be kitchen sink dramas, you just said.
The faucet's not working.
In fact, this is an everything but the kitchen sink drama. So it's one gag in the old Hollywood sense after another. It's as much as a homage to Buster Keaton, albeit a very loud, violent homage, as it is to the original A-Team TV show. And at least it doesn't take itself as seriously as Mission Impossible Blurg. It's also got franchise stamped all over it. At the very least, expect a sequel.
Okay.
For those familiar with the TV series, where Hannibal, Face, B.A. and Murdoch are all soldiers of fortune in the Los Angeles underground, this film is like a prequel. It ends where the TV series begins. And don't worry if you don't catch it at the cinema. If you've got a problem and you know where to find a blockbuster, you can hire the A-Team. On DVD in a month or two at least. This was written 2 years later. 2 years specifically in May. So like that's a long time.
Yeah.
I guess it only came out there. So that's it, guys. Stefan, being a Metal Gear expert, it was great to have you on.
Yeah, you're
Bartek being a
too.
COD expert. It's
Yeah.
COD. You're an expert. You should know this.
Cod's a fish, though.
Yeah, you might be an expert in that too.
I don't like fish. You don't like fish.
And I'm an expert in everything. Especially the A-Team mythology.
But not in the urine pit.
Well, that was the extended cut.
It's still mythology.
I'm talking about the
Expanded
mythology
universe.
of this universe, of the theatrical cut.
Still happened. You just didn't see it.
In the theatrical cut,
You
Bartek.
just didn't see it.
Do I have to explain to you in a very long, complicated way where you keep interrupting me, like about the Kong Island Metal Gear thing again? Or are you just going to accept what I'm saying in the theatrical cut?
It's pronounced camaraderie.
It's pronounced camaraderie. As always, you guys have been fantastic, amazing, wonderful, superfluous, stupendous, amazing listening people. I've chucked in amazing twice because that's how good you are.
And it's superfluous, just to be nice.
That's just me clapping. The others didn't. I mean, so Stefan did like those little in the backgrounds.
Yeah.
Bartek just nodded, which
I thought
is
you were
great.
clapping at me.
No, I'm clapping at the audience. Don't you want
Oh.
to guys? You've been stellar, and you can keep being stellar, or you can use your real name. I don't mind.
I was about to say, yeah, they're not all Stella.
Stella, you don't have to get your groove back. It's fine. You know.
Some of them are Toms.
Some of them are Jerry's.
Some of them are Droopy the dog.
My favorite dog.
Sorry, I was thinking the Tom and Jerry movie.
That's why I said Jerry. I knew you were gonna go Droop. So you guys.
Some of you
If
are the mammy that owns Tom.
Oh no.
Thomas!
He mentioned the racial insecurity of the time.
Insecurity. Oh, yeah, the time, yeah.
Because they updated her as a white woman. They updated her as a big white woman. A big Scottish woman, I think. They updated her as
Whitewashing.
Scott washing.
That
hate
role
it
was
when they
originally
never-
played by a black woman.
Or a black man we don't want to judge.
You're right.
We don't know the voice actor. So, guys, if you want to suggest an unappreciated masterpiece, you can. Because you can find us on Facebook.
Whoa.
Spin Polish Presents. I know, it's shocking.
Whoa.
And if you want to listen to us, we're on Podbean, iTunes, everywhere. We're on YouTube sometimes, a little, not very much. There's only a few on there. Apparently, people really love Just Visiting with, Jean Renault, which is great. But you guys, if you want to suggest, there's a post on the page, because, hey, we don't always know every unappreciated masterpiece. Bartek, Stefan, myself, none of us watched this movie when it first came out, and if it wasn't for my fortitude, we wouldn't have watched this. If it wasn't for my ingenious nature to know these movies, we might not have. I can't always be a genius, in or out. We need you to be the spine of the show, to help us. You might say, hey, why haven't you done an Adam Sandler movie? Well, are there any unappreciated ones? I don't know. Do you? Tell me. I'm not saying I want to do an Adam Sandler one. I mean, we already pitched his follow-up villain role in Green Hornet as the villain in Green Hornet 2, which, by the way, should happen. Yeah. Just saying. Yep. Villain, Adam Sandler is an evil sailor who doesn't want to get off his yacht. Brilliant! And Kevin James is his muscle. Oh, well, that's life for you. As always, you guys should always remember to not pity the fool, because fools don't need pity, as Mr. T would like you to think.
They just need education.
Always remember to be kind to each other.
Okay, episode's over. Ryan, we need to get out of here right now, because there's a bomb.
Where?
In this room. I've hired the A-team. They're going to come and they're going to try to get
Wait, you're telling me that you had enough money to hire the A-team?
Oh, they didn't take any money. I just said I pitied the fool, and they're like, well, we're not fools.
And we don't need pity.
But anyway, Ryan, the point is we need to get out of here because the bomb might blow. And if the bomb blows, we might not be on next week.
Well, I got a real big question. I know we've got ticking time bomb going on. Tick, 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 tick. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good.
I mean, Stefan, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
I mean, we don't know we got this bomb in the room and everything. I could ask this outside where we're safe, but...
Yeah, just make sure you listen to my podcast on iTunes, Mosh Pit Backstage. Set it up last year. If you like punk and metal interviews, it's on iTunes.
I didn't ask you about that. That's fine.
We really should
ask how I was.
We should have really mentioned this before we ended the episode.
No, it's fine. Wait, what was the name of it again? Just go slower. Tell us all.
Mosh Pit Backstage. So it's just punk and metal interviews.
Wow, I love interviews. Oh no, Bartek, I hear the final ticks of the bomb.
And he said sin. That's not a good Christian.
Oh no! But he's a good Catholic though. Oh, so
right.
It's okay. Well, Bartek, the bomb's about to go off. The A-team's going to come here. I guess we better leave.
Yeah.
Or we could just stay here and keep chatting about your feelings. How are you?
Good.
Why are you so good?
I'm feeling a little indifferent though.
About the bomb?
You might call me Indifferent Ian.
I'm not going to call you that.
I've never heard that before.
Yeah, that's a reference to a Stefan thing.
Stefan, are you Ian?
No,
we'll never find out.
Oh shit, the bomb!
Oh no!
3, 2. Why are we counting along? Why are we running?
1! Boom, boom! Ooh, boom, boom! It's okay, guys. It's me, Ryan 2. I'm the only survivor. Ryan 1 carked it, but he was a good boy. Now it's only me. Stay tuned for the adventures of Ryan 2, living in the world of sin.
I'm an angel.
And Stefan's a god.